feel like our intro should have more of a blah.
Bro, yeah, like the music video.
Do you remember all of those movie trailers that came out in like the
Yes.
late 2000s? They all had the same
Yes.
thing. It was like, "Hi,
Yep.
I'm Meredith."
I think it comes from Christopher Nolan's.
Yes, it comes from The Dark Knight. It comes from
Yes,
the Batman
right.
movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then he really in Inception in the
Oh,
trailer
that's
for
right.
Inception, he went crazy with it, right?
Yeah.
That,
Oh my gosh,
his
what's
movies are
that?
nuts.
Man, my fingernails are getting long.
Before Chris Cornell passed away, I went to a Soundgarden concert, and yeah, it was so good. But they had a really scary sound, and some guy came on the mic and he was saying the apocalypse is coming, and the speakers were so loud. It was like, oh, like whatever angel of death blowing the horn.
Black
so
hole
scary.
sun, won't you come? I think
he
that's
was
Chris
so
Cornell,
good.
right?
Yep, that's Soundgarden.
Yeah. He was great.
Man.
So this is the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. For those of you who, if you don't know what you're listening to at this point, God help you. I mean, maybe you just you randomly clicked the link someplace and you got here. Hopefully you stick around.
Yes.
That is
why should they stick around?
Well, because we're going to talk about unidentified anomalies and podcasts.
Yes, exactly. Unidentified anomalies and podcasts. That's what we talk about. Yeah, right.
That is I Have a Need to Know, Adam.
Hey, everyone.
And I am Time to Topher.
Topher.
I know one of our early critiques of our show was we need to dive into the material.
Yes.
Instead of BSing about our lives, but I have a really fun story to share with you. So
let's do it
for you and our listeners, so you can dive into the life of what it is to be Topher. So let's back up a few days. It's Wednesday morning. I'm waking up and I need to shave. I typically use an electric razor. I don't go all the way down to the skin like with a straight razor. I have an electric razor because I like to keep a little bit of a scruff.
Yeah.
So my main razor, which I love and cherish, it won't turn on. It's electric. It's fully charged. Won't turn on. And I go, oh crap. So I go to my backup razor and I'm halfway through shaving my face. And I mean halfway. Like one side of my face is shaved. Part of my mustache is shaved. Part of my chin beard is shaved. And my backup razor dies. It's just,
oh my God,
stops working. And again, this is Wednesday. I have to go to work. And for whatever reason, so my razor and my backup razor, they're both done. They just go, no, we're not doing this anymore. And I just go, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do? Like, again, I look like a crazy person. I've got half my face shaved.
Yeah.
So I go, oh, you know what? There's a grocery store right by my work. I'm going to stop there. I'll go in and buy an electric razor and just finish shaving at work. I walk in, I'm walking around the aisles and I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, God, I've only got, a few minutes to be here. I can't find anything. And so I walk up to this, again, this is early morning. So I walk up to someone who I see restocking the shelves and I go, excuse me. And she looks at me and she double takes and her eyes get really big. And like, she looks really scared.
Oh my God. Okay.
Because again, I look like some sort of crazy person.
Half your face is shaved.
Yeah. I'm like, hi, excuse me, I need a razor. And she just goes, go to customer service. And I was like, okay, great. So I walk over to customer service and I sit there and I stand there for like fucking 15 minutes. It took forever. And I'm like panicking. I'm trying to, I got to clock in, all this other stuff. So I'm sitting there. Finally, some lady comes up and I go, hey, I need an electric razor. She treats me normally, thankfully. And she's like, oh, we don't have that. We just have the regular, razors. I'm like, all right, well, this is going to be weird. So I go and grab one, buy it, clock out, or not clock out.
Did you get shaving cream?
No, didn't get any shaving cream.
Oh my God,
I do not think ahead. So I
shit.
walk into work and I look at my coworkers and one of them just starts laughing. I go, the funniest thing happened to me this morning. Both my razors died. And I explained to them this whole situation. So I go into the bathroom with a straight razor, and like I use hand soap as shaving cream.
Oh,
And
ouch.
and shave the other half of my face that hadn't been shaved.
Oh my
And
God. Did you cut
I
yourself?
go back to my desk, and I'm doing my work and all this other stuff, and I'm like feeling my face, and I go, "Oh my God!" So I've got scruff now. I'm the opposite. Before I was scruff on one side, unshaven on the other. Now
Yeah.
I'm scruff on one side, down to the
Clean
bone.
shaven. Yeah.
Clean
Clean
shaven on the other side, and I go, "Oh my God!" So I go to the bathroom, and I again do the same thing where I completely shave my face,
Yeah.
and the rest of the day goes on as normal. But after a couple hours, I get a message from my boss, and she sends me a private message on Microsoft Teams, and she says,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, I just want to tell you, you look really great today." I was just like,
Oh my God, she's telling you to do clean shaven.
yes, yeah.
Look at
It
that.
was just,
It was like meant to happen.
it was like,
Maybe she
yeah,
did that to your device.
yeah, she snuck in here. It was just unreal. I was just like, man,
Wow, dude.
what a day. I texted my mom the whole story. I was like, you're not going to believe this. But yeah, I was just like, come on,
But
of course,
people are like that, dude, with clean shaves. I mean, even with me, because on the week I only shave once a week, like on Monday, like a clean shave. So by the time it's like the weekend, it's out pretty well. So people that see me on the weekends usually see me not shaved, right? But then
mhm,
sometimes I do shave on the weekends, and then when I do that, it was like, oh, you look so great or happy or whatever. I'm like, it's because I shaved. Okay?
yeah, yeah. I
It's
couldn't grow
funny.
facial hair until my late 20s, and so like
Yeah.
seriously, I don't think I picked up an electric razor until
Uh,
I was like 25 or 26.
yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't have facial hair, and then it started growing, and I was always kind of like, I like this. I don't like to be clean shaven, baby
Right.
faced.
Right.
I,
Right.
I want to have
Exactly.
a little bit of scruff, but
Yeah.
the times you do shave, like you said, everyone takes
Everyone.
notice. Yeah,
Dude, that's a funny story. Well, you held it back from me. It's good you saved it for the show, though.
yeah.
And you did make a new song, kind of a rap song, right? No, there's a rap in there.
So now I want to. Okay, I've got the story behind it. It is a new song. It's not really rap. It's kind of rap.
Yeah.
There's a story behind it. But I think we should play it, and then I'll tell you the story.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's play it.
There's many miles behind me, but hours yet to go. The radio makes static while the black cars follow. Can't remember where I've been, can't remember where to go. Oh, but then finally I hear their voices in the air. It's the UAP podcast, and there's nothing to fear. One, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Adam and Topher to speak to your core. Promise it won't be a bore. Dropping all sorts of lore, oh my good Lord. Oh, oh. One, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Adam and Topher to speak to your core. Promise it won't be a bore. Dropping all sorts of lore, oh my good Lord. Oh, oh, oh my good Lord. Well, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Adam and Topher to speak to your core. Promise it won't be a bore. Dropping all sorts of lore, oh my good Lord. One, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Adam and Topher to speak to your core. Promise it won't be a bore. Dropping all sorts of lore, oh my good Lord. Oh my.
So keen listeners will realize that some of those lyrics, almost 50% of them, have been lifted from another song called a bar song, Tipsy by Shabuzi, which I've been listening to a lot recently.
Do I know that song? I don't think I know that song.
I don't like country music.
I know which one. That's a really good song.
One,
he's black, right?
To the 3 to the 4. Yeah. I love that song. I've been listening to it nonstop.
Cool song.
It is really good.
Doesn't he sing like a whiskey song too? Or
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of the same song that we're talking about.
oh, okay.
He talks about, me and
Oh, what
Jack
did it
Daniels
say
have a
before? Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
I
It's a
would
great
say
song.
cue it up, but it will
We'll
probably
get smacked.
we'll
Yeah.
get smacked by especially YouTube. Fuck you.
Almost every week we get a copyright. I mean, they don't it's not like a strike, but I've noticed that when we do get a copyright, even if it's not a strike, those videos are not seen as much.
Right.
When it's like no copyrights, they do much better. Very interesting.
It's pulled from the algorithm.
Yeah. It puts you lower, the quality of the video lower or whatever they have, in the algorithm. So cool. Yes, we're doing Gulf Breeze today.
We are talking about the Gulf Breeze sightings. This was a very I don't want to say popular. It was a very controversial UFO case.
Yes,
I
lots
believe
of coverage too.
The late 80s. I think 80s. This is less of a UFO case and more of a guy going crazy case.
And it's definitely a wave. It looks like it was a wave. It is a weird area because there's like we discussed before. There's other than this Walters guy, there's a lot of other witnesses, and videos as well. And over the years, like after that in the 90s, there were some videos that came out.
And this is Pensacola, Florida. It's very close to a Navy, and it's not an air base, a Navy military base.
Military base, yeah. Florida's got so many of them.
And it's very weird that the husband, the main character of this story, he's a very unreliable witness.
The Walter guy, right?
Yes. Yeah. He and his wife wrote a couple books and then disappeared into the ether. Ed Walters. Very, I mean, he's, I mean, he wrote the story, so he's the main character, but
right.
He definitely puts himself into the main character circle,
there was a lot of media coverage, huh? I mean, we'll see Sightings had something, Hard Copy did a long thing with him on there,
and he's got the thing is, what's crazy about this case is he comes with evidence. It's not like it's this crazy guy yelling on the street. He's got all these photos, but then he also has backgrounds and doctoring photos, but also he was taking photos with a locked camera, which means you can't doctor the photos, and it's a very strange case. But mostly Ed Walters terrorized his family with everything that was going on.
Oh my god. All right, let's get into it. So an apparent wave of close contact UFO encounters and even possible alien abductions that unfolded in Gulf Breeze, Florida in the late 1980s remains one of the most intriguing and divisive cases in UFO history.
Yeah, it's putting it lightly.
What was initially regarded by many as one of the best UFO sightings, complete with photographic evidence of recent times captured by the main witness, Edward Walters, quickly descended into claims of a hoax and counterclaims of attempts to discredit the main witness. Indeed, the case remains a topic of discussion in UFO circles today, almost 4 decades later.
Yeah, what I was saying to Adam before we started the show, just to be transparent up top, I think this guy definitely saw something, and I also think he definitely faked a lot.
It certainly seems like this. It certainly does seem like Billy Meyer.
Yes.
Billy Meyer had the same thing where he had a lot of real encounters, and I think they just stopped, and he did hoax some things later. Which
didn't Billy Meyer
tarnishes the whole thing.
Billy Meyer lost an arm
in
a bus, right? He said the bus crashed.
Something like that.
I still think he was trying to give a high five to a speed sign.
Oh my god.
And that's how he lost his arm.
Actually,
Ed Walters, maybe that's cool. Billy Meyer, if you're listening, I don't know, whatever. What's up, man?
I think he's still alive.
Ed Walters, I think, and this is saying something how little I think of Billy Meyer. I think Ed Walters is a little bit more honest than Billy Meyer.
Okay. What is further interesting about the Gulf Breeze UFO sightings, and something that lends a touch of potential credibility to Walter's version of events, is that many other residents of the region also began making reports of very similar aerial anomalies, almost all of whom had no connection to the witness. And adding a further twist are the hints that Walter's sightings, at least some of them, might have also been cases of alien abduction.
Yeah. If you dive into the books, I think it's just called UFO at Gulf Breeze or something like that. I think I'm way off there. But he does talk about all the other people that saw. Can you scroll up just a little bit? Go back to.
Yeah. You want to see this?
Just the last paragraph. That was. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just a sentence.
The books cover all of this stuff.
All right, nice, good. And it's many books, huh? Not just one.
I think it's two. I think it's two books. I think there's the book that covers everything that was going on, in the 1980s at Gulf Breeze, and then I think the follow-up book is kind of, it's like revisiting what was going on back then.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's got a lot of sightings, right, over the years. It's just like California, and it could be because there's bases out there, probably right. in the Atlantic and the Pacific. So I wouldn't be surprised why they get so many. All right, so curious. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I was gonna do it. A bizarre craft hovering outside. The curious events began over Gulf Breeze on the evening of the 11th of November 1987. When a local building contractor, Ed Walters, was working late at his home when he noticed a strange light outside his property. Intrigued, he made his way to the window to see what the source of the glow might be. Amazed, he could see a glowing object hovering in the sky, although his view was partially obscured by a tree outside his house. Wanting to get a better view, Walters immediately ventured outside. As soon as he stepped outside, he realized he was viewing something out of the ordinary. He would later describe the object as a quote-unquote top-shaped craft with a circle of bright lights on the underside. Around the edges were what appeared to be dark square windows that were separated by, in quotes, portals.
Well, these are terrible pictures. I'm sure there's better ones.
There are. But that's, you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Ed Walters, he was so this is something I've been listening to podcasts and YouTube videos about this case. Ed Walters, he was not like Yoko like some crazy weird guy. He was a very successful contractor. He was building people's houses and stuff.
Okay, so there was trust in the community.
Yeah, I don't
trust in him.
There's a lot of weird stuff about him that hopefully we'll touch on later. If not, I will bring it up.
Exactly.
After taking in the surreal events, he quickly rushed inside his property in order to retrieve his Polaroid camera.
Nice Polaroid.
Shake it like a Polaroid. Hopefully our listeners are old enough to know what a Polaroid camera is. He then rushed back outside and quickly snapped several pictures of the aerial anomaly from his front yard. Wanting to get a better view, he left his yard, stepped out onto the street, and headed closer to the hovering otherworldly vehicle, taking several more pictures as he did so. A moment later, the object headed in his direction and then hovered directly over where he was standing.
Oh, shit.
Then things would turn even stranger.
Huh.
We will not harm you.
Always. It's always that. Don't be afraid. We will not harm you.
It's so funny because every abduction case, it's always the same thing. The aliens are always like, calm down, we're not harming you.
Yeah.
And they're failing to realize as a human, this is really like whatever is happening to me is insane and I'm freaking out. And the aliens are like, oh, here we go, another one of these. Like
it's
for them, this is Tuesday.
Exactly. It reminds me of those videos of, because us humans do the same thing to like animals, right? They were in helicopters, and then we're chasing this herd, and they're running away, but then one of them gets caught, and we're probably doing the same thing, petting it. It's okay.
So that's actually a very. I've heard that used as a parallel as to what the aliens are doing, because if you're a bear, right? You're out in the woods, you're hanging out with other bears, whatever bears do.
Right.
You see this giant metal bird up in the sky. What we as humans realize is a helicopter, but bears have no context. And then all of a sudden you feel the sharp pain in your neck, boop, like you just got shot with a trank. You pass out, you wake up, you're on some sort of operating table, but you're a bear. You don't understand any of that. And there's these weird two-legged animals touching you,
masks
poking
on
you, and doing
white
tests on you
lab
and stuff.
coats. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you wake up hours later or days later, however long it's been, you're out in the middle of the woods again. How do you explain that to other bears?
Right, and you have an RFID chip in you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like this. That's the parallel for like what aliens are doing to humans.
I believe it.
It's like,
like, so it's a zoo.
Exactly. So as Ed Walters looked up at the craft, a sudden bright blue beam of light came from the underside. Really? I didn't realize that. And struck him. He would state that the force of the light was so strong that he was even lifted several feet from the ground. He later described the movement to a local newspaper, stating that as soon as the light hit him, he was unable to move his arms and that his entire body appeared blue. He further recalled that he was trying to breathe, but my chest wouldn't expand. Here we go. We're getting to the good stuff now. At the same time, a voice appeared in his head stating that he should not worry and that we will not harm you. Despite these assurances, Walter screamed be put down. He also recalled a piercing smell. Now, this is actually really interesting. A piercing smell, a little scent of ammonia mixed with heavy cinnamon.
Interesting.
That he said scorched, then stuck to the back of his throat.
Whoa. All right. So it wasn't, what's the smell that everyone always says?
It's always ammonia, right?
Is it ammonia? I think it's not.
I thought so.
What is that one called? What's the rotten eggs called?
God, it's the same thing as fireworks too. Man, we suck so bad. How does this happen every single time?
It's the microphone.
Sulfur.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was sulfur.
Okay, good. So this is going to cover this. Okay, so things then turned even more bizarre as he began seeing pictures and images of dogs in his head.
What?
Further, it's good stuff, man. It ties into the larger story too, which makes it great. So he was seeing dogs in his head, further describing this as if he was turning pages in a book in his mind, while a humming sound began resonating in his head. The next memory he had was waking up on the ground. He looked up, and around him, the strange craft was now nowhere to be seen. What? Dazed, perplexed, and a little in awe at what had just transpired, Walters returned to his house with his photographs. So in the middle of this abduction, he's taking photographs with his Polaroid camera.
Whoa. In the middle of the abduction? Wow.
Yeah. Well, so he ran outside and got these photos of the craft, and then he was quote unquote abducted. But
right. Yeah.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, who knows?
After remaining quiet about the incident for almost a week, on the afternoon of the 17th of November, he made the decision to contact the local newspaper, the Gulf Breeze Sentinel. Excuse me. He met with the editor and told him of the bizarre events 6 nights previously, as well as presented him with his photographic evidence. However, he would do so under the guise of having been given the pictures and relaying an anonymous person's account.
That's right. He said Mr. X or something
Mr. X. That. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Good that you did. However, as the days and weeks went on, Walters would claim further sightings, eventually admitting that he was Mr. X.
It was,
and not his anonymous friend who was a witness to these bizarre happenings. Yeah, the whole thing is a very strange story. Ed Walters, I do believe he saw something, but I also do believe that Ed Walters loved being, the main character,
the center of attention.
Center of attention. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, because a lot of shows were made with him in there. So we'll get to see how he looks. Maybe look at his body language or something. If he's someone that's trustworthy.
So I kind of get the feeling this article is not going to cover it, but I do want to bring this up. He was like friends with a bunch of. This is going to make him sound like a pedophile, which I'm not saying he is, but he was friends with a lot of the high school and college kids that like lived in this town. I think the town is like 6,000 people. It was not a big town.
Yeah.
And like,
what do you mean friends? Like he'd hang out with them?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I get the feeling he just like, he peaked in high school or whatever.
Right.
And just wanted to, he was kind of chasing that. I'm putting a lot of,
like that character from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Well, but
McConaughey. He's like, they get older. No, I get older. They stay the same
age. I don't think it was like. I hope it was not like that.
Okay.
I haven't read the books. There's some weird stuff in there from what I've heard. I don't think he was like a molester or pedophile or anything like that.
He just wanted to stay.
think
he just wanted to hang. Yeah,
he just wanted to be. He just wanted to be the man.
Right.
Like he wanted, like you said, the center of attention.
Yeah. I could see that, and they probably just all looked up to him, and he was like, Mr. Cool.
Yes, yeah. That's the impression I get. Because one of the other witnesses, I'm sure it'll be covered later in this article. One of the witnesses was a college kid that Ed Walters was hanging out with. One of those things.
Yeah. All right. So further surreal encounters. On the evening of 20th November, Walters claimed to suddenly be able to hear voices coming from somewhere, as well as the hum that had filled his head during his initial encounter. He left what he was doing and made his way outside. Once there, he could see a glowing orb-like object that was descending. Then it stopped and hovered in place for several moments, allowing him to take a picture of it. All right. Several weeks later, at around 3:30 a.m. in the early hours of 2nd December,
the witching hour,
the family's pet dog dragged Walters from sleep with its sudden barking. Walters got out of bed and headed to the French doors where the dog had its focus. Cautiously, he opened the blinds and was beyond shocked to see a strange figure standing directly outside looking in at him. He described this creature as being around 4 feet tall, shocker, with a particularly large head and large black eyes. So the typical gray.
Weird. We've never seen that kind of alien before.
I know, right? Yeah. He would further claim that he was so surprised at the sight that he momentarily fell to the ground in shock. After the two locked stares for several moments, the strange figure turned around and began to walk away. Oh, come on, dude. Look at that picture. It's hilarious.
Hey, just making sure that you're asleep in there.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
Won't bug you anymore.
At this point, Walters opened the doors and began to pursue the creature. After taking only a few steps, however, the same bright blue beam of light rapidly descended from above and instantly paralyzed him. He looked on as a small figure headed off into a field and disappeared from sight. A moment later, the blue beam retracted and he could move once more. Already with his camera in his hand, he took a picture of the object now hovering over the field where the creature had headed, shooting a blue beam down to the ground.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if the article's going to show that photo is like probably the most famous one from this case.
Right. I don't think it's or if it does, it's not going to be a good quality one. But I think it comes up anyway, and in other things we're going to cover. But that is it. The one on the street with the reflection. It's light reflecting on the street. That one.
I can't remember, but honestly, it's the UFO, and you can see the beam coming out of it.
Okay, yeah. Walter stated that it was his belief that this second beam was picking up the creature that had been outside his house. Only 2 nights later, in the early hours of 5th December, yet another incident occurred. Once more, he was dragged mysteriously from sleep and witnessed the object again, this time hovering over the high school that was near Walter's home. After several moments, the object descended, although Walters could tell if it hovered just above the ground or had actually landed. Man, it sounds like those high schoolers gave him too much acid or something.
Yeah, or something. Or he's making it all up. Who knows?
Right.
No, Ed Walters, he's got a bunch of great interviews about all of this stuff.
He does. Yeah, he does. He goes in depth too about these.
He does. Yeah, I mean, there's like on the surface it looks like BS, but I mean he's got a lot of exactly. Not just the photos. I mean there's a lot of other proof that
and MUFON was involved, and I think Maccabee was involved. Like many people were like investigating this seriously.
Yeah.
So
they took this very seriously when this was going on. Exactly. Initial investigations and corroborating witnesses. By this time, not only had many in the local community heard of Walter's claims, but so did UFO investigators and organizations. One of these was MUFON, who contacted Walters in order to conduct an investigation into the enigmatic affair. So I have heard that part of the story told differently. Essentially, MUFON had, heard or read what was going on in the newspaper, and they showed up unannounced and were so the podcast.
They were investigating because they were investigating Mr. X's pictures, right? They were driving down and they actually found his house. They're like,
they found his house, and they were standing in his yard taking pictures, trying to triangulate like where the pictures had were in the newspaper had been taken from. So it wasn't like MUFON contacted him. It was like MUFON showed up and were doing their own investigation.
That is important to point out. Yeah, good one.
Yeah. After examining the photographs and listening in detail to Walter's accounts, they were largely impressed, even describing it as, in quotes, one of the most incredible cases in modern UFO history.
Ooh, that's a big one.
They had even provided Walters with specialized cameras, that's the locked camera I was talking about earlier, and equipment so that he could capture clear images should he have any further encounters.
And it's definitely not one of these.
I was going to say, how ironic. They're talking about clear photos, and they're posting these blurry photos in this article.
Like, what is that?
That's a street light.
Yeah, seriously.
Investigators also began to collect other sightings from Gulf Breeze and nearby residents. One of these even occurred on the same day as Walter's initial sighting of the 11th of November.
Several 11/11, by the way, right?
Oh,
11/11. Yeah.
Several hours earlier at around 4:30 a.m. Arthur Hufford claimed that on the afternoon in question, he and his wife witnessed an object that looked exactly like the one photographed by Walters hovering over the trees in Pensacola.
Wait, sorry. So Arthur Hufford took this picture.
Great job, Arthur.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna rag on him. That's the article pulling a poor photo. But just hold on a sec. Scroll up. I want to go over that last paragraph again. One of these even occurred on the same day. So it says several hours earlier at 4:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it was
the guy said he saw it in the afternoon.
Sightings of them is several hours. Yeah, several hours.
Yeah, several hours earlier at 4:30 a.m. Arthur Hufford claimed that on the afternoon in question. Okay, all right. So it's just okay. Yeah. I misunderstood it. It sounded like it was saying it was seen at 4:30 a.m. by the same people that saw it in the afternoon, which didn't make any sense.
Right.
All right. In an article of Hufford's report, Jackie Brooks wrote in the News Journal that he was a quiet, in quotes, quiet, sober, involved, intelligent man, and someone, and again in quotes, you could trust to tell the truth.
Well, there you go, people. The community trusted him.
In the same article, she also highlighted a similar sighting by Dr. Fenner McConnell, describing him as a, in quotes, well-respected man in the community and someone known for extreme views. And someone known for extreme views, or
maybe not known.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think it'd be not known.
I think that was. Yeah, I was like, I read that. And I was like, what? Someone not known for extreme views or exotic notions. And like Hufford, his account was corroborated by his wife.
Lovely wives. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's like Hillary. It's like Hillary when she was with Bill after the Monica Lewinsky thing. Yes.
I was just going to say, Bill Clinton obsessed with UFOs.
Yes, he is, and he tried to get to the secret, and they just didn't let him. He wasn't part of the club.
He loved the movie Independence Day too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
About it. Sorry, that's off topic. Go ahead.
So, apparent holes in the claims. There were, however, many others, even in the UFO community, who were far from convinced of Walter's credibility. Just one of whom was the Center for UFO Studies.
CUFOS.
Oh, really? Yeah. One of the main charges by skeptics against Walters is that he intentionally produced the photographs using double exposure techniques and a toy model.
Yeah.
And the veracity of these claims appeared even more certain when ufologist Zan Overall.
That's his name. That wasn't just a break in the sentence for our listeners. Zan Overall is his name. He wasn't saying Zan Overall. And then, that's actually the guy's name.
When ufologist Zan Overall seemingly discovered that Walters did indeed have the knowledge of double exposure techniques and the capability to utilize them. So wait, can you do that on Polaroid?
Yeah, I don't know the science behind it, but yes, you can. And that's one of the big things that came out against Ed Walters. And he likely did use that technique, But again, he also was taking photos of UFOs with a locked camera, something you cannot do double exposure with. So
okay, all right.
It's one of those, like, yes, he probably did that to fake a lot of these photos, but
not all of them.
Not all of them, because
Right,
he was taking photos of UFOs with a camera that could not be tampered with.
Okay. Even those who did not accuse Walters of perpetrating a hoax were not as convinced of the photograph's authenticity. For example, an employee and photo expert with NASA, Dr. Robert Nathan, was asked to analyze the pictures by the National Enquirer, who were seemingly interested in running a story on Walters' accounts. Ultimately, however, he stated his findings were inconclusive and so couldn't say with certainty that they weren't fake.
This is the most famous photo. This is the one I was talking about earlier. You've got the UFO, you've got the beam of light.
Yeah. That beam of light.
Really cool. Who knows if it's real or not? Yeah, we'll get to the what's it called? The thing he had that looks just like the UFO.
Right. Yeah. There were also other details that came to light. Perhaps not least that Walters had reportedly paid a fee to Dr. Bruce Maccabee, everyone knows him, in order to write a chapter in a potential book. He had been given a 6-figure advance for that. He was to call UFOs Proof Positive. However, when the publisher had the photographs analyzed, they received a similar report that was given by Dr. Robert Nathan, and ultimately had the title of the book changed to The Gulf Breeze Sightings.
There it is.
We should make of that what we will. So wait. So he paid Bruce Maccabee a fee to write a chapter in a book, but then when the publisher got the pictures, they completely changed and said, let's just make it all about Gulf Breeze instead of just a chapter. Let's just do a whole book.
I guess I'm kind of confused, because that's the name of the book, The Gulf Breeze Sightings. Those are the 2 books I was referencing earlier, but it wasn't written by
Maccabee. No,
right? No, The Gulf Breeze Sightings was written by
Edward Walters.
Ed Walters and his wife. So maybe the article is combining.
I think, what I think then what it means is that he was going to put a chapter in his book. His publishers saw those pictures and decided to just also do, I guess, maybe in addition to just that chapter, is to have a new book. So they became his publishers, Walter's publishers, maybe.
Interesting.
Or maybe I'm not understanding it right. We should also note that during this time, Walter's wife and family stood by his accounts. Furthermore, in February 1988, Walters passed 2 polygraph tests regarding his claims. That is good. I would say too.
It's good,
but
it is worth noting that polygraph tests, they're not the truth-telling machine that people think they are. It's just
right. You could have training to trick,
but it's not just that. You just have to believe whatever you're saying,
right?
Like
really people, believe it though, right? Yeah.
Or you have to be really stupid. Like there's been serial killers that have, on record lied about something, and it shows, that they're telling the truth on a polygraph test.
Right.
You as long as you're not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I mean, I kind of am, but not this kind of scientist. I don't know how polygraph tests work, but I do know, you don't have to be telling the truth to pass.
I mean, basically, what polygraphs tests do is they create a baseline where they know you're telling the truth. So that's what they ask: your name, your address, your occupation, right? And they look at that's what the truth looks like. Then they start asking you the questions, and if it deviates too much from that, they would say that you're not being truthful.
Yeah, I mean, like I know they measure your heart rate and stuff like that, but if you believe the BS you're peddling, you'll pass it.
Exactly. Yes, you will. Yeah, if you can train yourself to really believe something, you truly believe in, create, the entire scenario in your head, and you could pass it. The CIA guys they teach them how to pass these things.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
Further twists and turns. Despite the skeptics, however, further sightings of bizarre objects hovering and moving over the regions continue to unfold, with Walters himself recording several more apparent close encounters. Indeed, although he began by giving his information under the guise of a go-between, Mr. X, he would quickly become a celebrity. Well, in the state of Florida, even
there we go.
appearing on several television shows that wish to examine his apparent evidence of visitation. Now, is that a nuclear explosion or?
Right, exactly. And there's the reflection. Interesting.
It would appear that he also built up a considerable amount of money, as well as a book deal. He also received various payments from television companies and media platforms. As he moved out of his house due to UFO enthusiasts constantly knocking on the door, and lived elsewhere in the region at an undisclosed location. Yeah, it's worth noting that after all this stuff happened, the whole family changed their names and disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, they. I mean, even as far as a couple of years ago, I know people were still looking for the Walters and never could find them.
Well, maybe we should try to find them. I'm kidding. If those people and private investigators couldn't find them, I'm sure we can.
So their property stood empty for close to a year. When it was clear to the UFO adventure seekers that Walters was indeed gone for good, the house was finally bought by a gentleman by the name of Robert Menzer. And not long after he purchased the property, he seemingly made a remarkable discovery that would throw the details of the Gulf Breeze UFO sightings up into the air once more. This is the model we're diving into. The model
wait, was it
the model the model that was quote unquote found in the family home, which is dubious at best.
Yeah, it is a strange one, that's for sure. I mean, do we know the history of this Menzer guy? Who is he a government guy or?
Okay, so I can't remember the exact details. This was being explained on the podcast. Basically, Ed Walters was running for city council, and the guy that he was running against, I think it was Robert Menzer. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah,
essentially used this as like, okay, you guys want this guy for city council? This is what I found in his house after taking all these photos. That's how So it's dubious at best if this was actually left, quote unquote, left in the family home.
All right, let's go through it then. Nothing but a foam model. Menzer, it appeared, had discovered nothing less than a model UFO that Walters had seemingly left at the property when he vacated it the previous year. According to the new resident, who told his story in the June 10th, 1990 edition of the Pensacola News Journal, he had ventured into the loft in order to turn off the water so he could install an ice maker. As he was moving the loft insulation in order to locate the water pipe, he discovered the model UFO. Sure, dude. Cool story. He claimed that the object was made of 2 foam plates and 2 slightly smaller foam plates with paper rings in between them, onto which windows had seemingly been drawn. Perhaps even more damaging, when the paper was removed, records of a house sale were discovered in handwriting that appeared to match that of Walters. Oh, please. That sounds really stupid.
Why are they using such terrible photos?
Well, no, it's because we're zoomed in too.
Oh, I mean, still not great.
No, it's not.
But I mean, again, like I said at the top, this story, most of it probably, was faked. But also the quote unquote debunking of this story is also faked. It's a very bizarre story.
In response to the find, Walters completely dismissed the discovery, stating that, quote, only a fool would leave behind such a piece of evidence, close quote. Further stating that the model had clearly been planted in order to discredit both him and the many sightings he had experienced. He elaborated that the house sale records were his papers and that they related to a house sale which fell through 2 years after his initial sighting in November 1987. He stated that he often found people searching in his trash and that someone must have retrieved the house paperwork from there. In another twist, investigators eventually discovered that the plans did indeed match those of a housing project for 1989 that had fallen through. All right, he wasn't lying. Walters further went on the defensive by pointing out that the model Menzer had discovered was not at all like the ones he had photographed. Although he stopped short of accusing Menzer of being behind the model, he heavily hinted at it. We should note that Menzer only revealed the model's existence when a reporter arrived at the property in relation to the former owner. With these points in mind, it appeared that Walters had weathered the storm and that his claims of the model being a plant could possibly be correct. Then came another twist to the affair.
Yeah, there's a lot of twists to this story.
Yeah, seriously.
Another claim of fraud against Walters. The following week, in the June 17th, 1990 edition of the Pensacola News Journal, another article appeared concerning the Walters UFO sightings. In the article, teenager Tom Smith claimed that he had assisted Walters in making the UFO model just before the sightings began. So, do you remember
one of his friends?
Yes. So, at the top, I talked about how Ed Walters would hang out with high school and college kids. Tom Smith was one of the kids he was hanging out with that he said, "Hey, I'm not going to hang out with you anymore because I don't know, whatever weird reasoning that is." So Tom Smith has a reason as to go against Ed Walters. I'm just bringing up this whole story, how weird this is. He went on that Walters had first taken pictures of the model, which had been made to give the appearance of glowing, and then taken pictures of the night sky using the same frame of film. He then revealed that to make it appear that a UFO had landed in a nearby field, Walters had turned a trampoline upside down and then jumped on it over and over again to flatten the grass and vegetation in the shape of the round object.
What? Are they saying this is the one? This is the model?
That's the model that was quote unquote found in the house.
Yeah. I mean, looks. Yeah.
No. I don't know what to make of it. Honestly.
I don't know. It just looks. I mean, look. It just.
It's similar. It's close.
But no cigar.
But it's not quite right.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, I agree.
Smith continued that to begin with, he thought Walters was merely going to play a joke on family or friends. To be fair, in terms of the stuff I've researched about Ed Walters, he was kind of a jokester or prankster.
Really?
Yeah. However, when he asked him to take the photographs to the newspaper as if he had taken them in order to make the story more believable, he wanted the point of the story is Ed Walters, according to Smith, Ed Walters wanted to make Smith Mr. X, but Smith wouldn't do it. Supposedly, that's what Smith says. Smith realized that Walters was looking to dupe the media and the public for financial gain. Not wanting to get caught in a fraud, not least as he didn't want to disappoint his family, Smith declined to be further involved. But he was really quick to come forward when it was supposedly a hoax.
Yeah.
When Smith's parents were interviewed about their son's claims, they stated that what he was saying was true and that he had told them about the trigger before. Really? And while they had urged him to come forward with the truth, he wished to stay out of the affair until now.
Interesting, huh? Especially parents said that too.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe very strange. All right. An attempt to discredit the witness, providing a further interesting backstory to the claims of the Smith family, was the fact that Smith was running against Walters for city council.
Here it is. Okay, so it wasn't exactly
or not,
but I was close.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, right. He thought it was the other guy, not Smith. He thought it was Menzer.
Right.
Coincidentally or not, around the same time their son came forward with his claims. This, as we might imagine, led those who backed Walters' account as proven fact to accuse Tom Smith of not only lying, but of the Smith family being behind the planting of the model in the first place, so that they could then publicly humiliate and discredit Walters. Of course, this was an accusation the Smith family denied.
It did work, though, because Ed Walters came
He won?
He came dead last in run for city council.
Holy shit. There were, however, and this, exactly. This is in the 80s. That's an easy one to do to him back in the 80s, right?
Yep.
There were, however, two clear sides to the Gulf Breeze incidents, and those who sided with Walters turned their attention to the claims made by Smith. For example, the landing spot had been examined and investigated and did not grow new vegetation for almost 18 months. And what's more, no chemical or other agent was discovered that could have caused this lack of growth in a perfect circle, no less. This was something that certainly could not be produced by jumping on an upside down trampoline.
Yeah. Again, I want to stress the fact that I think Ed Walters made a lot of this up, but I do think something really real happened there. It wasn't 100% made up, like 75% made up.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll see. Even Bob Oshlister, that's his name. You know, that NASA engineer guy. He went to the site, and we'll see him like talking about it. So, yeah, a lot of people were involved. That's for sure. There were also the details Smith had given regarding how Walters achieved the blue beam of light shown in one of the pictures. He had claimed that Walters had peeled away ever so slightly the back of the film. This was something that those with knowledge of photography stated would not achieve such a result. Perhaps even more damaging for Smith's claims, as well as those who believe double exposure was the cause of the UFO in the photograph, is that no photographic expert could produce a double exposed photograph using the camera Walters used, a Sun 600 Polaroid. Perhaps most damaging of all to Smith's claims was the fact that there was absolutely no evidence whatsoever that Smith had ever met Walters before or after the sightings began.
Interesting.
Really?
So maybe I was wrong about my earlier statement. I could have sworn.
I mean, they could have. Maybe Smith wasn't part of that group, but he could have still hung out with like teenagers and stuff. But maybe he wasn't one of them.
Final proof of a hoax? Now finding himself on the ropes, Smith offered that Walters had used his camera to take the photographs and not the Polaroid. He even produced quote-unquote faked UFO pictures and made them available to the media to prove how easily it could be done. When these pictures were analyzed, however, no evidence whatsoever could be found to show they were fakes, meaning, perhaps ironically, by their own standard, they had to declare the picture authentic. They had to declare the pictures authentic images of a UFO, even though Smith insisted they were fakes.
Whoa! All right, so he basically tried to prove they were fakes by. So that it weren't. The Polaroids were pictures of pictures.
Yeah.
So he used another camera to fake it, and then he took a Polaroid of the pictures. Is what he's saying.
Is it? Hold on. I don't think he even produced fake.
He produced fake UFO pictures and made them available to the media to prove. Oh wait, it was up here.
No,
I used his cameras to take the photographs and not the Polaroid. Yeah.
He's just using a regular camera instead of a Polaroid. But interesting. So they couldn't even prove that Smith
fake ones were fake.
Smith produces these pictures that he says are faked, and the quote unquote experts can't even prove that those faked pictures are faked. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Further turns in the already strange affair occurred following Walters self-publishing a book that contained many of his photographs. That's the Gulf Breeze sightings book. As we might imagine, many people were eager to see the pictures close up for themselves, both believers and skeptics alike. And one picture in particular drew the attention of skeptics. That's the one we were talking about.
Yeah, the one over the road.
Yeah. In this image, an apparent hovering UFO casts a reflection on the road below. However, when this picture was examined by one particular photographic expert, it was determined that the reflections were approximately 9 times larger than normal, suggesting that these reflections were not coming from the road, but were suspended in the air. Further analysis suggested that the reflections didn't match the bottom of the underside of the craft, and that the road appeared too bright to be a reflection of the object. Can you scroll up? Because
that's not a good argument, I don't think.
I don't know. I mean, man, I don't know. Like,
especially if they can manipulate light, it's not like a normal light.
But I mean, I get the argument that.
I get their argument. It doesn't make sense to me though.
Because asphalt or whatever roads are made out of is not reflective in nature. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a very reflective substance.
Right.
So I get that. Although it appeared that Walters had finally been exposed, some investigators pointed out that the object had been at an angle while the photographs had been taken. This would explain the long shadows, the discrepancy in them matching the craft's underside, and the brightness of the road. Okay, interesting.
A truly divisive case. Despite the counterclaims to the apparent exposure of Walters' photographs being fakes, it appeared, at least as far as MUFON were concerned, who had continued to back Walters, that it was time for them to withdraw such support. In a statement regarding the matter, they offered their belief in UFOs, and they had, quote, entered this investigation with a natural and favorable bias toward the Walters case. But our investigation and analysis lend to the conclusion that several, if not all of the photos, are probable hoaxes, close quote.
Yeah.
Regardless of MUFON's Yeah. And regardless of MUFON's position, however, the fact is that there were many more than just Ed Walters who claimed to have seen UFOs in the Gulf Breeze region of Florida during the late 80s and early 90s. According to some sources, around 200 other people in the region made reports of similar objects to those allegedly photographed by Walters, with some even offering their own photographs. One resident, Bland Pug? What?
I think it's Bland Pug, but
name?
even then,
Bland Overall and Bland Pug.
Man, I feel bad for this person.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry, Bland.
And if it's a real person, I apologize. For example, managed to capture a picture of an apparent alien craft in 1993, which you can see below.
Ooh.
Yeah. Red light. Furthermore, in 1990, a group of witnesses and believers organized themselves into a loose organization that was dedicated to studying the sightings as well as documenting any further encounters. They would not be disappointed observing and documenting several encounters, including one, that of a similar object to the one Walters claimed to have seen that had red lights on its underside. Although the concentration of sightings and the Gulf Breeze sightings began to slow as the 90s unfolded, reports of bizarre aerial craft continued to come from the region, and it remains a location with more than its fair share of UFO activity. Very true. The surge of activity, however, at the end of the 1980s and into the early years of the 90s, arguably remains the region's most active years.
So something that this article really doesn't cover is just the Walters like household family, like kind of them breaking down. I mean, it kind of touches on it because Ed was this familiar guy with everyone in the community. Again, it's a small town. He's Mr. X. He's taking all these photos. His wife like didn't believe him at first, but she finally starts to believe him
when the money came in.
Yeah. Funny how that worked. The son was getting ready to go off to college, but then who knows what happened there. Every time that he got hit with the light, which is more times than was covered in this article, he always smells like ammonia and cinnamon. And he can't, no matter how much he washes himself, he cannot get the smell off of him. Also, did you hear about the Doomsday 6 in relation to this?
No.
Okay, so there were 6 people that worked for the NSA, and they were working in Germany.
Those guys, I remember that story. We talked about it on the show. I remember,
Yeah, they came to Gulf Breeze, or they got arrested on the way to Gulf Breeze. They left their post in Germany to come down here because they got a message from angels or something. It's a very story.
They were doing what do you call it? Ouija board.
Yeah,
those ones.
They had to fight off the alien invasion, and they were on their way to Gulf Breeze, and they got arrested. Very, very bizarre, weird twist in the story that really doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
I mean, no, because you said they went to Gulf Breeze, right?
Yeah,
because
yep.
No, there's definitely a link there. Very interesting. Very, very. What did the message say? Do you remember?
Oh no,
but that's how they'll save humanity or something, or
right? Essentially, they had to fight the alien invasion. Yeah.
They let them back into the army.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, which we thought was funny. I remember we covered it on the show. I forgot why, but we went deep into it.
I was listening to the last podcast on the left talking about this case, and they were talking about how there's not a whole lot to the Doomsday 6 story, except one of them wrote a novel about how he was in love with one of his coworkers' roommates. Like it's just
hilarious.
There's no real end to that story. It's just a weird tidbit part of it.
So Sightings did a documentary on it.
Hell yeah.
So did Hard Copy. And then there's another one from England that shows all the other witnesses. But I mean, we don't have to watch all of this. Obviously, we can just go to Ed Walters or see what else they've covered. Who's this guy? He's like some investigator, I think. And there's other like videos that showed up. Yeah, this one's really cool. It just takes off.
Nice. Yeah, let's give them a watch.
All right.
90% of all reported UFOs are seen after dark. Far rarer and virtually undocumented are daytime sightings. But now a rash of daylight UFO sightings is being meticulously documented in one of the world's most famous UFO hotspots, Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Since at least 1947, elements of our government have been absolutely aware that we have non-human, highly advanced intelligence visiting this planet. If the secret is impossible to keep, then we must find a way to adjust to this extraordinary oddity. Bottom line is, at all costs, preserve the social order. That has always been the stakes. And of course, those are very high stakes. Those are war stakes, okay? We're looking at a war here.
They won't go away. The latest Gulf Breeze sightings are adding an ominous new layer to the UFO story. Sightings has obtained exclusive photographs and videotapes of mysterious craft flying in broad daylight. This new evidence is among the most significant UFO footage ever recorded.
The photo and video evidence that we've recently seen from Gulf Breeze is far more important than all the previous UFO photo and video evidence combined.
It used to be just another resort town in southern Florida, but Gulf Breeze has changed. Vacationing families drawn to the area's tropical waters and white sand beaches aren't the only visitors in the area. For nearly a decade, the name Gulf Breeze has become synonymous with UFOs.
It's been going on almost continuously since 1987. It is not a flash-in-the-pan situation.
The clusters of sightings over Gulf Breeze are taking on a new look. Rare daylight events have UFO researchers scrambling for an explanation.
We now are going through a series, it seems, of daylight sightings and the nighttime sightings.
That's Blind Bug. Hey, man, sorry. Yeah, continuing.
Have almost completely diminished.
90% of all reported or recorded UFO sightings occur at night. Only 10% are seen during daytime hours and are rarely captured on tape or film. Along with the increase in daylight sightings has been an increase in the number of eyewitness reports.
The people in the community who have said that they've seen UFOs are people like doctors and lawyers and real estate people. And it's just not a bunch of lunatics running around saying that they saw lights in the sky. It's very different.
This is not a movie. It is actual footage of a UFO seen over Gulf Breeze in broad daylight.
The daylight.
Whoa, that's a Tic Tac. And yes, this is
really.
Right here.
I got the. I was just watching that video. I thought it was more of a saucer just moving at high speed.
Breeze in broad daylight.
See it? Oh, okay. I guess it could be a saucer.
Actual footage of a UFO seen over Gulf Breeze in broad daylight.
The daylight sightings that we've had of the last year have all been authenticated. The photographs, the videos, the witnesses have all proved positive.
Here in Gulf Breeze, there's so many sightings and there's so much going on. Either you have to go on with your life or you let it just drive you crazy. And so I've just chose to go on with my life.
On November 28, 1993, Ed Walters, a successful local contractor, saw bright flashes of light in the afternoon sky. He grabbed his home video.
Yeah, he definitely likes the limelight. You can just tell.
Oh yeah,
And he's good on camera.
He's the main character.
Yeah.
Main character energy for sure.
Yep.
Camera and drove toward the lights.
I actually drove down to the public beach, got out of my truck and calmly walked out onto the beach, hoping that I might see these bright flashes once again. Walking along here towards the west, continued to scan around, look around, panning around here. 360, there's the sand dunes, that's the north. Oh, geez, goodness gracious. Over those dunes right there. It appeared and flew in from the north, hovered out over the beach, over the shoreline. And I dashed over towards the sand dunes and dropped to my knees and started filming it.
This is what Ed Walters captured on videotape. The shaded, disc-shaped object appears to hover overhead, then abruptly disappears.
There
she is right
Whoa.
there.
What the hell?
Oh my God. Just hovering right there. Oh, Jesus. Wouldn't you know it?
The
Jeff
thing is, like,
Senio is a video.
You see it just disappear?
yeah, the thing is, I rag on the guy, but honestly, man, if I had the time, I'd be doing this shit like every single day. If I saw something in the sky and I didn't have to work or I was self-employed or whatever, like I'd run down to I'd be like, man, I just saw something. Let me grab my phone. Let me grab my camera, and I'd be running down. I'd be doing this exact same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I get it. I get it.
Right. And that would look real. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I don't exactly know how he'd fake that. I mean, this is again.
I mean, now you could, but yeah, back then it's much more difficult.
Right. This is the early '90s. He's not throwing it into Chat GPT and using AI, or I don't even know what the kids are doing these days. But
yeah, even VFX, and After Effects, whatever. Like they have now AI. You can write scripts and
right. But that kind of stuff was not available when he was seeing these things and filming them.
It was still VHS and whatever camera he was using. I think,
Betamax.
Betamax, right. So, all right, see, like, this guy's
he had a crank turned camera,
crank turned.
Analyst with MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, recognized worldwide as an expert in his field. Senio believes Walter's tape is authentic.
Oh wait, can you pause?
Particularly when he
something that wasn't covered in the article, like briefly they touched on how MUFON worked with Ed Walters. The extent of that was they camped out for 9 days in a van. This is not a joke, and took turns just watching Ed in Ed's house. And one of the photos that was taken that was published, man,
I think the hard copy one might go into that.
Okay, because like Ed was like, he was yelling at the MUFON guy, goes, it's right there, look. And the guy goes, no,
nothing.
That's a plane. And he goes, look to the south. And then Ed took a picture of it. And the MUFON guy saw Ed take a picture of it with a Polaroid, I think.
Yeah.
And he came out and said, I didn't see the UFO, but I saw Ed take a picture of the UFO. And I believe that this is really happening. And that was on day 3 of their 9-day stakeout, and they didn't see anything else other than that.
Interesting.
It's a really funny story if you think about it.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
he sees the object, how the oscilloscope shows that the camera was indeed bounced around. You'll see a lot of video disturbance there, which is typical of a raw video of a camera that's been bounced around. That eliminates editing as a possibility for creating this thing.
There she is, right there.
Ed Walters is no stranger to UFO documentation. He snapped the first Gulf Breeze UFO photograph in 1987. He also took this picture, which he believes is a near miss between a UFO and a fighter jet.
And the jet was continuing on and passed right, looked to me like it was headed right at the UFO.
That's wild.
Ed Walters has come under fire from skeptics who do not believe that one man could have seen and documented so many significant UFO events. But Walters is not bothered by charges that he is a sophisticated hoaxer.
There are some people who just absolutely will not consider the evidence. They will kill the messenger. Judge me if you will, but the fact is I videotaped and saw a UFO.
With enough time, money, luck, and skill, anything can be faked. But unless Ed Walters has Steven Spielberg as a brother-in-law to fake this video, 2 different types of photographs, would be extremely difficult for an ordinary man to fake.
Walters isn't the only one to document a daytime sighting. This footage was shot by a Gulf Breeze resident who chooses to remain anonymous. He gave the tape and his story, local reporter Bland Pugh.
The UFO, he observed it came out of the southeast.
There he is. I was right. It's Pugh.
It is Pugh. It is Pugh.
Man, poor guy.
It's a bland Pugh, though. Not just any Pugh.
Not a shiny pew, not a fun pew. It's just a kind of a bland pew.
Yeah, exactly.
It moved over his head at an incredibly fast speed and disappeared out to the northwest. This particular sighting in itself was a landmark sighting in that it actually showed the UFO disappearing or leaving, as it were.
Yeah, and they slow it down. It takes off. There's another video. Yeah, it's really crazy.
See it coming in here. It's very indistinct. Appears to be moving relatively slowly. So here's a slowdown of the same video. Object hovering there motionless and zips off instantaneously. Barely make it out as it zips off to the right. The object was about 3 miles away on the left side, got up to about 2 miles away on the right side, was doing about 4,000 miles an hour.
Still, another documented sighting comes from an eyewitness known only as Philip. The flight pattern is similar to that on the other videotapes, and so is the shape of the craft.
The various videos corroborate each other. They corroborate previous witness testimony. And so the pieces of the puzzle all fit together.
Military bases in the area, they have information about.
I wonder how much of this is the U.S. government doing some sort of testing. I'm not talking about the 4-foot tall aliens that were hanging outside Ed Walter's screen door, but these videos orbs, where they're in the sky and then they just are gone.
Right.
I mean that I have a high, I suspect very much so that these are U.S.
Especially once you start getting into the 90s. Yeah, we had stuff, man. Yeah, for sure.
About what is flying above southern Florida. But every attempt to obtain comment from the military is not only denied, it is ignored.
It could be that the military is tied into this. I'm not accusing, nor am I saying they are covering up. I'm just saying that they've just kept their mouth shut.
I do believe there is a growing pattern of contact which suggests that we are getting closer to actually meeting the neighbors. Gulf Breeze is part of that pattern.
I mean, also, they could be. I mean, they could be visiting the base as well. Maybe something's going on. Maybe something's going on at that base.
I was laughing because, of course, they have to close that video out with
the alien,
the alien face. Yeah, of course.
And this is a long one. We're not gonna. We'll just go through and see what new stuff.
I'm watching you scroll through this. This is so 90s.
Oh, it's so 90s.
I'm seeing what people are wearing and stuff. I'm like, man, that is just so 90s.
So we saw him here, right? Yeah, we did that one. It might be. It's not the same one, is it? No, because it's hard copy. Oh, but it's the same guys. That's Bland over there.
He set a video camera up and
left
it unattended and caught the UFO as it streaked across the screen in approximately 1 second. Several days later, Martin Allen looked outside. He saw this UFO hovering out over the beach.
The UFO seems to accelerate from a dead hover to blinding speed in nothing flat.
It accelerated from 0 to over 2,000 miles an hour before it exited off of the screen.
Another UFO video that was submitted to the Mutual UFO Network appeared to have that same acceleration, but the picture.
I mean, so something was definitely going on. Let's see the other. Let's see the other witnesses.
What's that? BP oil.
Gulf Breeze, Florida, just 2 miles long and half a mile wide. A tiny coastal town situated on the shores of Florida's Panhandle. A town that seems to have been selected by visitors, but not just any tourists.
It is an intense area for UFO activity. There's no doubt about that.
They are interested in us helping the world become aware.
The matter was going down, or the craft was going straight up.
Gulf Breeze has become a center for UFO activity. Residents are determined to find out why. In the last 12 months, they've documented 122 unexplained sightings, an average of 1 every 3 days. Last week, we sent our producer, Lila McMurray, and a crew to investigate the UFO phenomenon in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And in the evening on 2 consecutive days, they saw what can legitimately be described as unidentified flying objects on the sands overlooking the Gulf of Mexico.
I mean, there's definitely something was happening, huh?
They sent their producer, and she saw a UFO.
That's crazy, man. It's like the New Jersey drones.
It really is. Yeah,
it's like it's a flap.
Yeah.
Wonder why they choose this. Maybe it has something to do with our government doing something, moving things around.
Yeah.
That they want to know about. It's strange. Flaps are weird.
Flaps are very weird. But we're talking about them.
Yep. Yes, we are.
That's what's important. And you know what? To all of our alien listeners out there, please have a UFO flap in our area. So
yeah, right here.
Me and Adam can document
it. Don't try to abduct us, though. I'm not gonna.
I'm actually,
very well to
as
that.
long as you don't do any weird like sperm stuff, unless you're the Nordics.
Unless you're the Nordics.
I'm up for it. Let me hang out with you guys.
And would you seriously be able to stay calm? What if they put you through paralysis or something?
Could I stay calm? No. I think if I had free movement and I could and they weren't like torturing me or like shoving needles up my butt or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be scared, but I would be calm. Yeah, I'd be like, holy shit, this is really happening. I'm really freaked out, but like, hey, what's up, aliens? Like, what do you guys want? I'll tell you whatever you need to know. I don't know the codes for the nukes or anything, but I can tell you what kind of car I drive. So what's up?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're not putting me through paralysis or something like that. I'll be able to be calm. Not as much as I can. I mean, than the frightening thing of looking in the eyes of another species.
Yeah, like exactly. Like yes, I would be freaked out, but I don't think I'd be like flailing around.
Right.
But again, I just want to put this out there. Nordics, hey, what's up?
All right, the Nords. But yeah, I mean, from what we've seen, they're pretty smoking hot.
And you have a good time with them, from what I hear.
yeah,
you have a real good time with them.
Oh, what's that book? I mean, he says that they're basically semen extraction machines.
Yes,
but
it's not a painful way. It's a real fun
right.
way.
Exactly. That's very humane of them, actually.
Yeah,
very humane. Very humane of them.
Yeah,
unlike the Greys that just get it out of you by
that's what pisses me off about the Greys is like, like if you go to a sperm donation clinic, they're like, hey, go in this room and put it in a jar. The Greys are like, we're going to shove a needle up your dick and get it that way.
We're going to take it. Yeah.
And it's just like, why? Like it can't be in the air that long or something. Like, just like, if you want to like wait in the corner, that's fine. But like, don't shove a needle in me. But the Nordics are like, we're going to take it the old fashioned way.
Exactly. Yeah. Let you have a good time.
Yeah. They put on some Marvin Gaye and, let you have your fun.
The Marvin Gaye. All right. So do you go through the other witnesses?
Our crew videotaped these incredible pictures. Why? Look, they're not.
Okay, so who's got a light?
Wow.
We were looking over the water up in the sky, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this red light appeared. I was kind of shocked by it because I didn't see it coming from the ground, or I didn't see it coming up, down, anywhere. It just appeared. And someone handed me binoculars, and when I looked through the binoculars, I could see a ring of 6 red lights.
Our crew is not the only objective observer tantalized by UFOs at Gulf Breeze. Art Hufford is a chemical engineer, a scientist with a professional bias towards hard facts. His sighting led him to join and later become president of the Pensacola Mutual UFO Network. Called MUFON, it is a non-profit organization dedicated to scientific research of UFOs.
Look!
My interest in UFOs began in November of 1987 as a result of my wife and I having a sighting late one afternoon. We were driving on the way home, and suddenly above treetops ahead of us, we saw this object craft. I think in this area, the total number of witnesses at one time was up to about 500.
We weren't ready to say automatically that this was something that was from outer space or from another planet.
Patty Weatherford is an auditor for the state of Florida. She became interested in UFOs after what she claims was a bizarre experience.
I remembered waking up, or semi-waking up, and the room, my bedroom, was just filled with light. It was just brilliant white light. People need to just start opening their minds a little bit.
Those who have opened their minds to the subject of UFOs include Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, former astronaut Gordon Cooper,
Yeah.
any number of aviators and scientists, credible people seeking documented answers, just as in Gulf Breeze.
I've had enough sightings now that have indicated to me there is definitely an object there. We're not just seeing a light fly in the sky.
Most Gulf Breeze sightings occur at night, and many locals spend their evenings searching the night sky for evidence of UFOs. And the
Crazy.
evidence they have found is mounting. These home videos record 6 separate UFO sightings. Watching them would give even the firmest skeptic time to pause.
I feel like we need to take a field trip.
The one on the right is going down a little.
I wonder if it's the Navy like messing with them, that Navy base.
I man, I said this earlier, and I still I'm watching this, documentary. I think that's the case. I don't think it's the Navy messing with them per se, but I do think it's the Navy doing their, experimental craft.
Yeah.
experiments.
I mean, they have crazy patents. The Pais patents, those are from the Navy.
The whole military they don't even need patents. They can just do stuff.
I know, but I'm saying the Navy did release patents of triangle UFOs and anti-gravity craft, and like it wasn't the Army or Air Force that did it, so the Navy does have a history. Yeah. So what's the support here?
Grassroots national organization of private citizens who've taken it upon themselves to try to get to the bottom of the UFO mystery. One possible explanation has surfaced. Gulf Breeze is virtually surrounded by 3 major military bases, all with extensive air traffic.
We call the military. We're told, no, we did not have anything in the area at the time that you had your sighting. Of course, there will be those that say, well, that's the typical military response. Even if there was something going on, they would deny it.
The wave of sightings in Gulf Breeze started with this man, Ed Walters. In November of 1987, Ed and his wife Frances took some amazing photographs of a flying saucer. Fearing ridicule, at first Ed kept the pictures to himself, but then he sent them to the Gulf Breeze Sentinel, the local newspaper. Publisher Dwayne Cook knew his reputation would be on the line if he decided to print the pictures.
I was nervous, naturally, and my folks came in Wednesday afternoon while we were putting the paper together. And I said, you're not going to believe what we're getting ready to run in this week's paper. Showed them the pictures, and they looked at them and said, that's what we saw. So at that point, I more or less lost my fear of going with it because, if your own folks see it, if you can't trust them, who can you trust?
As it turns out, at least a dozen other people saw the same thing that night, including Art Hufford and several other people who then became members of MUFON.
I never felt more alone than I felt that day, November the 11th, 1987, seeing this thing. And then later, nobody saying very much. And then, of course, several weeks later, people were coming forward. And fortunately, you came forward a month later and said, hey, I saw that same thing.
Dr. Bruce Maccabee, an expert photo analyst employed by the Navy with over 20 years' experience, spent several months studying the Walters pictures. Maccabee also had Walters use a stereo Polaroid camera the next time he saw something.
Some of his early photos contemplated the possibility that they were hoaxed by a double exposure method. But there is a question of whether or not anybody knows how to fake stereo pictures and do it well. I concluded that doing the photography, if it was a hoax, combined with all the other sightings, the testimony of Ed and his family, the intensive investigation, all ruled out the possibility that this was a hoax. And so I concluded in late May of 1988 that it was real.
Since 1987, South Shoreline Park has become a magnet for sky watching. The sky watchers have been able to videotape several unidentified objects.
Cool, man. Looks like, definitely something was happening in Gulf Breeze, right?
Yeah, clearly. I would love to, our dream is to make this podcast like our day job. And I would love to start doing field trips to places like this.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool, man?
Yeah.
Just set up at night and see what we can see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is Bob Oschlesser. Wait, yeah. He's that NASA whistleblower that came forward in the 80s as well.
December 17th of
Nice.
1987 marked a threshold in the evolution of the investigation here of the UFO phenomenon in Gulf Breeze. On that night, Ed Walters, from his house just down here, got the familiar buzzing he'd been accustomed to hearing with the craft showing up, and he looked out and saw this craft right out here above the field, just a few feet above the ground. And what was remarkable about that, and the photograph that followed, was in the days and weeks of the investigation that followed, we had a physical phenomenon. The craft had affected the grass here and the soil in such a way that first all of the grass had turned white, and the ground itself had undergone some sort of energy exposure. For 2 years, you could clearly see the mark where this craft had been hovering. The local grounds crew here at the school had come out and put fertilizer down and seeded it and watered it and couldn't get anything to grow. And as you can see, they even recently brought in a brown type of topsoil, which is different than the white surrounding sand here. And you can see they've still not been successful in getting something to grow here in the field.
It's been 6 months since we saw.
Isn't that nuts? And you can clearly see the ground there. Still hasn't been able to grow anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, more evidence to prove that Ed Walters was telling the truth.
Right. Yep, exactly. Yeah, this is the instantaneous acceleration video.
Nice.
Yeah, the way it just goes like 4,000 miles per hour.
It's so freaky, man.
Yeah. Just sitting there. I mean, it just looks like it's on. Whoa.
Oh, what? Yeah, you can actually, man, I thought it like just blipped and disappeared, but you can actually, you do see just a glimpse of it take off. Wow. Yeah, there it is. Wow.
Nuts.
And again, I mean, this video was taken before a time where people were, creating AI videos on YouTube. I mean, this is wild. This is wild stuff. And again, like that guy said, unless your brother-in-law is Steven Spielberg, like you're not doing.
You're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, not just the average person is not going to be able. Now there's this one too, and this one looks exactly like it. So this is 1995.
So this is a few years after the Ed Walters stuff that was going on.
Yep. Mike Hawkins, along with other investigators, spotted an unknown flying object in the night about 10:15. He pursued the object to get a better viewpoint, and his actions were rewarded with the capture of incredible footage of a structured UFO. He and his fellow investigators were in Redfish Point, only about 6 miles from Gulf Breeze. It's very similar. The object is very similar. So yeah, let's watch it.
Oh man, there it is. I got it now. After spotting the illuminated craft near Redfish Point with a few other investigators, Hawkins drives his car as far as he can before being blocked by trees. I can't drive, man, to get to zoom in here at the same time. Get out, man. Get out.
Whoa.
Braving mosquitoes and thorny vines to get closer, Hawkins does everything he can to keep the portal-encircled UFO in frame. His running description is breathtaking.
Whoa! You can see the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen this video.
That's it, man. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Man, did you see it blink off?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, man. Wow.
We got it, man.
And it's just completely illuminated.
Man, that is wild.
And it looks just like it. The Gulf Breeze thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's zooming in. Look at that.
Oh,
like a hamburger.
When is Oreo going to come out with their UFO themed Oreos?
That's right. Whoa, look at that thing. And it has like on the thing on top too.
Yeah, I mean this is super simple. Yeah, wow.
So Walters,
this must be Ed Walters in a field with a UFO on his fishing line screwing people.
Yeah, it's like what was it, 8 years after?
Yeah, 88.
He just got a better model.
Yeah, wow. Holy smokes. That is crazy. Look at that thing.
It's a balloon. It's no balloon.
Yeah, it's a balloon. It's a glowing balloon. Wow.
And they sound scared. Oh, it's gone.
Gone, man.
Wow.
Hawkins was able to videotape the bizarre craft extremely close up and had it perfectly in frame just as it seems to vanish in the blink of an eye.
Oh, of course, we have an alien face. Exactly. Well, nice. That's what we have for this case. I mean, definitely
Yeah,
something happened. Definitely something is
definitely.
going on over there with all these other sightings, not just Walters. So despite what's happened with the whole Walters thing, you know, something very serious is happening in Gulf Breeze.
Yeah,
Maybe
clearly.
till today.
You know, I stand by what I said. I think most of the Ed Walters part of the story is BS. We barely scratched the surface on everything. I highly recommend people to go do their own research or, you know, read the Gulf Breeze sightings books. You know, but there clearly was something going on, and I think it definitely has something to do with the military bases
Right.
around
There's
around
something
Gulf
there.
Breeze.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we know that these objects are interested in our military and what our military does. So if there's bases around there, you're going to find this activity, and it's going to be us and them.
And if
most
it was just Ed Walters who came out and said he saw
Right.
something, no one would have even given this a second thought. But
Right.
there are so many, as we saw, so many witnesses to weird going-ons
Mhm.
Around Gulf Breeze. But again, we barely scratched the surface. I do think Ed Walters is a little bit of a con man and a prankster, and I think it got a little bit. I think he saw something, decided to make the story a little bit bigger because that's what UFO people do, and I think it got way too big and out of his hands, and he kind of panicked, and because there's so much more to the story, you know. Anyway,
Cool. So, and there's lots of going on with the UFO news and updates. Burleson is everywhere again. But now Kiriakou, and this guy, if you don't know him, he's an ex-CIA guy. He was a whistleblower. They threw him in jail because he blew the whistle on the torture program the CIA had after 9/11. So he actually went to jail. But he's so cool. We've played clips from him before. He talks a lot about Israel and stuff that he saw when he was at the CIA. But he speaks about UFOs here, which is really cool to see him talk about that. And Brandon Fugel is also on his show. I guess it's called Unified. But yeah, I like Kiriakou. He's cool. So let's see what he says here.
My father's cousin owned a restaurant in Alexandria, Virginia, and we used to go down every summer and visit with the relatives. Well, the owner's son had a best friend who was an F-18 pilot in Norfolk, Virginia. I remember as clearly as the day is that he said very casually, and this had to be 1970, I'm going to say 6 or 77. He said that as an F-18 pilot, they see these things all the time. He said there's a standard operating procedure where they document the sighting, it's classified, and then they send it into the Pentagon where it just sits in some database somewhere. And he said you get used to it, except when you see them come out of the water. He said that would always panic him because he didn't know if it had spotted him and was coming out of the water. It went down to take a sample of the water. It's living underneath the water. But he and every other pilot would document every single one of these sightings. And we now know, thanks to these well-placed Pentagon leaks from 2-3 years ago, that they were all seeing these things and they were all documented.
Absolutely. It comes down to integrity. Either you're going to acknowledge and you're going to be honest in what you know, what you have witnessed to be true, or you simply are going to essentially be asked to be plugged back into the matrix. I think most of the general public, when it comes down to it, as much as they may be curious about these topics, and they may find them entertaining in the same way that we go to the megaplex to see a movie on the weekend and we like to be entertained. The reality is people do not feel comfortable with really addressing topics that challenge their worldview or their paradigm.
I think that's exactly right.
At the end of the day, if anything, and that includes military personnel, that includes our most decorated pilots, law enforcement, when these people are faced with the reality of whether they are willing to go public with what they know to be true or whether they want to essentially be plugged back into the matrix, make sure that they get their 401k, that they have enough to take their families to Disneyland once a year and to be able to retire with their gold watch and be able to have time with their grandkids. Most people do not want to put their reality in jeopardy over acknowledging these topics. And I don't know that I blame them. I can't blame them because these topics are sobering. The reality that we aren't alone in the universe, that there may be not only worlds without number, but we may live in a cosmic zoo. and be part of a very complex experiment is understandably terrifying.
Huh. He's so right. I like that he's talking about that plugged into the Matrix thing. Like, they've created a system of just convenience, and we all enjoy it. Unfortunately,
Well,
and you don't want it you don't want that to be ruined, or jeopardized.
They got us. There's no way around it at this point. I mean, and even. I mean, hell, like people talk, I always have fantasies about living off the grid, but where the hell am I going to go? Even
we'll still be on the grid. Like for me, off the grid means like I'm far away from the city, and yes, I might have solar panels for electricity, but I'm still gonna be on the internet. I don't see myself not being on the internet.
That's what I'm saying, man. They got us.
Like
if I toss my phone out the window, never to be used again, what the hell am I going to do? Like I can't do anything, without that.
Right.
That's the problem. I mean, they got us.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Representative Massey. He's great, right? He really lives off the grid, and he has his own ranch. He's got cows. He's got chickens.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
But that's not off the grid. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't like pay the electricity company, but I'm sure he's on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. You know his name, therefore he is not on the off the grid.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So apparently, Peter Thiel is funding UFO podcasts. Is from Red Panda and from a space that they had. So we can listen to this person, but they're saying Courtney Marchesani reports UFO researchers have gotten approached and financed by Thiel to cover UFOs. Hey, Peter Thiel, why are you being a little? Why aren't you contacting us?
Right? I would love some of that funding. I'll say, I'll say whatever you guys. No, I won't.
I know that's why you want to approach us.
Yeah. Well, also, there's a certain other government that we're not allowed to discuss.
Right. Yeah.
Because
we're definitely against the surveillance state and everything Peter Thiel does
exactly.
and invests in. Jesse Michaels, is a huge UFO podcaster. Used to work in the family office of Peter Thiel.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not saying he's funded by him, but he has worked at the family office. Yes, yeah. I mean, that was his day job before. He's a finance guy. He looks at finance and I think he does projections or does analysis on companies and stuff like that, financial analysis. So yeah, he's very close to Peter. So there's an interesting clip. He also apparently was an investor in the Age of Disclosure documentary, which hasn't been released yet. Anywhere, but I forgot what the reason is. Someone's suing them, maybe.
Okay.
That said, who told you? And so I just got to go back and double check with those individuals, considering there's a lawsuit or one lawsuit already that has been settled, and just make sure I cover my ass, that I can say who it was, because if there's legal stuff on the line, I don't want to put anybody else in the mix. So, but that is what I was told. So, I'm always pretty frank and try to be as transparent as I can when I think information is relevant. And in that discussion last night, the reason why I thought it was relevant to bring it up was because of the way Age of Disclosure went through the approval process to get produced, but also because of Thiel's personal history with the UAP issue and his involvement with meetings that happened in the CIA when the Lockheed technology was supposedly going to be transferred, not necessary for that specific meeting, because I don't know the details around the meeting because of, who was there and who was in the room, but he was there. And his edge was to get the NHI technology out of any secrecy or compartmentalized or contractor black budget projects to take it to Silicon Valley and have it be developed. And that was one part of his impetus in being there, and to help in any way that he wanted to, because he wanted to get it to Silicon Valley. Now, that is out there, but when you look at his actions and his involvement financially, because I keep bringing up the economic angle, and I know people are sick to death of it, but You know, when you hear something like that, you can't just take it at face value. You have to go and look up all the different ties, organizations, how things had been established. And he's obviously wanted to have a foothold in the UAP community, you know, early on when all these other things were developing. So everybody knows what his projects are and who he brought on in his first board and all of that, which I'm not going to go into it because most of those slides have already been leaked and it's out there, and I'm not going to name names, but people were approached by Peter Thiel. I interviewed 3 of them who he approached for a financial, contract to essentially cover UFOs in the media, or for other reasons like collection of data and Enigma's role in collection of data and who they bought data from. And so those things all tie into it. You know, it's not the smoking gun, but it certainly shows he has a track record and a history. So that's why I brought it up.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
It really is. And man, what is this? What's the term? Like late stage capitalism? Like anything that you like or have an interest in is being manipulated from behind the scenes by some sort of billionaire or corporation or whatever.
I mean, Thiel, I mean, he has his hands everywhere. But I mean, Palantir now is growing like crazy, right? The government's giving them more contracts.
Yeah.
Their only client for like 7 years was the CIA. So basically the CIA created them.
Yeah,
and now they have access to all the government information, all of our information in the government, you know, Social Security, health, all that stuff. So, you know, it's really scary. And now look, he's giving a 4-part lecture series on the Antichrist starting September 15th. I mean, he's creating the infrastructure for an Antichrist figure to come in and take over. You know, so it's just weird that he's covering that. And then he's talking about UFOs, which if you take what Richard Dolan says, that, you know, these technologies have been seeded by these beings to create this system we have, the internet, the surveillance state, for them to come in and take over. You know, that's what he thinks from his research is going on. And then you have this guy, and then he's talking about the Antichrist. And now, I don't know, dude, it's getting way too crazy. And the 3-Eye Atlas and Avi Loeb, we're talking about the Messiah. Their Messiah is supposed to be the Antichrist from the Christian side and Muslim side, actually.
It's it's wild. You know, I can't believe someone would spend all that time talking about the Antichrist. Who is ever coming? Oh wait, it's me. I am the Antichrist.
At least he's building the infrastructure for him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And look, he's always sweating. And you ever see him in interviews? How he's like,
I can't shame anyone for being sweaty. I'm a very sweaty person myself, so I'll never rip on that. But he does look a little bit like he works, you know, for Satan himself.
Right? Exactly. Oh, I can't. I want to see the text of this. All right, yeah, whatever. But and then look what just showed up, and this is the reason why we won't get. This is seriously a reason why we will never get disclosure because of this. I swear, this is the reason. This is
at
the
least
reason.
Their hats are bigger than normal.
Yeah, these guys have the bigger hats.
Yeah,
but just listen to this. This is just going to drive you crazy.
Oh, can't wait!
I just saw it this morning.
I love watching these Antichrist. I mean, never mind.
Yeah, so this is Ambassador Huckabee with a couple of rabbis in Israel, and he's just let's just see what he says or what they say.
Let's see.
The ambassador has a very interesting view of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Rosh grew up in America. There was anti-Semitism, of course. I've experienced, we've all experienced it. The ambassador has a very interesting view of that. He says you can't understand anti-Semitism. If the people who are anti-Semitic, it's because they're against God, they're against the Rabbi Shalom. And we are represented as his people, and that's why they're anti-Semitic. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Interesting view.
It's an interesting view. There's another view that since we consider the chosen people, so people are very. Who are you? What are you? Where are you taking big shots? Chosen people.
And that's part of it, is that because you are the chosen people, given a chosen place for a chosen purpose. And if someone is angry at God, he'll be angry at the people who represent him.
That's right.
So I tell people anti-Semitism is irrational. There's no reason for it unless you understand the spiritual reason, which is what I believe is at the heart of it. It is not the left versus the right. It is good versus evil. It is the creator versus those who rebel against the creators.
Those who rebel against the creators. So he's saying they're the creators too. Thanks, Mike Huckabee. They're calling themselves chosen. So do you think, seriously, these are the people who are in charge of the world and our empire? Okay, they are. Huckabee represents the Christian Zionists, fanatics, and and they represent the chosen. So do you think they would ever disclose that there's other species out there that God has created and are more advanced and probably more wealthy and more chosen? I don't think that. Yeah.
I mean, it really depends. Do the aliens consider themselves Jewish?
Right. And I think that's what's going on. They're trying to keep the religious thing intact.
God's chosen aliens.
I think, and that's what Alvy Loeb's basically saying, right? The Messiah comes from space to save them. Then you have Luna, who was on Joe Rogan, bringing up the Enochian Bible, and comparing it to this subject. And then you have Burleson as well, which we'll see in a bit. He's recommending these books written by a Christian and something else. Also, so they're trying to merge the two subjects just so the religious institutions, remain intact, because they need them intact.
I truly hope, with very little hope, I don't have much hope for this, that people will be able to accept life on other planets without it becoming a religious thing. I think it's really stupid. It's like when America was not colonized, but we sent, white people, Europeans were showing up and sending out pastors and priests and all this stuff to convert the native people to Christianity or whatever.
Yeah, the Mormons did that as well.
And the Mormons, of course. Yeah. I was just giving an example. I really hope we're not going to do the same thing when alien life is being proved.
Well, at least they need religion to remain the way it is, or at least merge with this subject, so they can still remain in power spiritually. Basically, that they still remain chosen. They are the ones that are chosen.
Oh my God.
Or else they're.
I swear to God, if the alien lands on the White House and comes up with the little hat on his head, I'm gonna be.
And speaking Hebrew,
I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
And speaking Hebrew, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even giving.
I'm not gonna be surprised.
I'm not even giving the time of day. I'm just gonna be like, nope, I'm out. Like I'm done with this. See ya.
Because if they really did break away decades ago, they could fake it easily. They could. And I wouldn't put it past them either.
But man, here's the thing. Here's what's so great about the world and people in general right now. Anti-Israel sentiment is at an all-time high.
And it's not anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, because they're committing war crimes.
So if aliens landed on the White House and they came out and claimed they were Jews, everyone would be pissed. So many people would be mad.
They'd be like, what?
It wouldn't just be like these weird, can you hear the ice cream truck outside?
Oh, just a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So many people would be mad. It wouldn't be like a small minority of people. It'd be like everyone. It'd be like, you gotta get out of here.
You're not going to dupe anyone. Well, although they could just kill everyone who disagrees.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather die fighting than live on my knees.
Yep, me too. And here's that clip from Congressman Burleson. He recommending books on UFOs and religion.
Interesting.
So I feel like that it's like their mission now. The ones in Congress, because Luna's doing it, he's doing it. It's like they were giving instructions, or they're like, okay, if you just don't mess up the religious factor, we'll release it or something. I don't know. It's really weird.
Hi, Eric. I just I wanted to clarify this and ask it because it's been asked. by several others when I mentioned this in a space. But when Ron James and I met with you back in November, I believe, you recommended a book to us, and I thought I wrote it down and I cannot find it. And I'm wondering if you happen to remember what the book was that you recommended to Ron James and I. And you said something about that it had helped you sort of reconcile your religious beliefs with the UAP narrative.
Yeah, it's a book by a guy named Timothy Alberino called Birthright. And it honestly, this whole topic just kind of, as someone who's a born again Christian, it kind of caused me to not really rethink my beliefs, but rethink the passages in the Bible that I have known since I was a child, and just and see them from a different light. And his book is very academic. It's he really challenges a lot of conventional Christianity, but in such a way that I don't think is heretical. It's actually really well written, and it's a good book. So yeah, Birthright by Timothy Alberino, and he's recently he did a presentation on another gentleman's book named David Flynn called Cydonia, which is really kind of the ancient, really the origin of all the ancient aliens stuff. David Flynn was Ancient Aliens before anybody else was.
Is Cydonia a reference to Mars?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called. I don't remember exactly what the title is, but it's David Flynn's book, Cydonia something or other. And what's really fascinating about his research is that he pulls together countless ancient religions and ancient civilizations and their and texts and structures and megaliths, and kind of creates a narrative that that kind of pulls everything together. And
understand, I probably want to read Cydonia. Birthright, probably not. I mean, I've listened to Timothy on other interviews, but Cydonia, that's cool. I mean, there is this theory that humans did come from Mars, or remnants of the species that was on there millions of years ago that was destroyed, right? And that 3i Atlas is going close to Mars, apparently.
Very interesting. That alien cruise ship that we've covered a couple times on the show. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. But yeah, I would read Cydonia. Yeah, Birthright, I'm kind of with you there. Not so much.
Right, yeah. Stephen
Bassett.
A little...
Never mind.
No, I'm with you there. Stephen Bassett also came out and said that he thinks that the Trump administration is going to do disclosure because the Epstein files are a nightmare. And he's saying that he's seeing all the signs from the administration just putting J.D. Vance staying obsessed with UFOs.
Anything to hide the fact that every rich person in America is a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, I can't believe they're covering up for pedophiles. Like, did we ever talk about that Alex, whatever, Abrahamovich or Alex, that Israeli cyber guy?
I meant to bring that. I meant to bring that up. The guy who got
fled.
Caught. He got caught trying to bring an underage girl to his hotel room in Vegas, and then he just got sent right back to Israel for some crazy reason.
It was 8 people who got caught. All of them are in jail. He's the only one that was left, and I wonder why.
Yep.
So we're protecting him.
And again,
no one's above the law.
And I just want to stress, he got sent back to Israel.
Right. Yes. Our closest ally.
Weird, huh?
Very weird. Well, here's someone also who's from Israel. Avi Loeb gets asked about 3i Atlas.
Oh, good.
Yeah, apparently it is emitting its own light.
Yes, it is. It's got headlights. For those of you who don't know, it's a very bizarre thing. People,
very bizarre.
There's no explanation to what's going on right now.
No.
What if
an interstellar object whirling through our solar system is actually a nuclear-powered spacecraft sent
What?
by aliens to test how humans respond.
Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
what a noted astrophysicist believes might be the case, and he says an image from the Hubble telescope backs him up. Most scientists agree that the so-called Three-Eye Atlas is a comet from another solar system. But Harvard scientist Avi Loeb claimed on this show a couple of weeks ago that it could actually be some type of alien technology. Now, that's a controversial opinion all on
It's the
own,
Moshiach.
but he's now going a step further, arguing that the Three-Eye Atlas could be a nuclear-powered alien spacecraft. Loeb says the Hubble picture appears to show the object emitting its own light. The object also appears to lack something that all comets have in common, and that's a tail. So what is this thing exactly? Well, joining us now is Avi Loeb. He's the head of the Galileo Project, director of Harvard University's Institute for Theory and Computation. He's also the best-selling author of the book Extraterrestrial. Great to have you back on the show. So you now say this is not only an alien spaceship, but it's nuclear powered? Why are you saying that?
Well, thanks for having me. First, I should say that if the light that we observe from this object is reflection of sunlight, its size needs to be bigger than Manhattan Island, 20 kilometers or so.
True.
And there isn't enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver a rock of that size earlier than 10,000 years from now. So the question is, what is it? And its orbit, the trajectory that it takes, is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. That's a chance of 1 in 500. And moreover,
Look how close it's getting to Mars, man. Isn't that weird? And then,
So weird.
Yeah.
Again, alien cruise ship.
So crazy, dude. Maybe they're checking up on Mars to make sure no one survived the nuke.
Yeah. my uncle lived here. Oh no. What happened?
Exactly.
What does that tell you? What does that trajectory tell you?
Well, it indicates that perhaps it was designed by some intelligence.
That's something steering it.
Not necessarily, but the trajectory itself was chosen to be such that this object will pass close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. The chance of that happening, the timing of its arrival is perfect for that, with a likelihood of 1 in 20,000. And so I'm just saying we should observe it. It doesn't look like it's a random occurrence. The size, the trajectory, the fact that it comes so close to 3 planets in our solar system, and actually it comes closest to the sun on October 29th, when the Earth would be on the other side of the sun. We won't be able to observe it. I'm analyzing right now the best image we have of it. We don't have any evidence for gas around it in the spectrum that was taken, but we do see some fuzz, some halo of scattered light around it.
We're looking at the image now. What does that tell you, that halo of light around it?
Right. So usually for comets, you see a cometary tail trailing the objects from behind because it's being pushed by the radiation from the sun. The dust particles are pushed to be behind, to lag behind the object. In this case, what we are seeing is a glow in front of the object. And I'm analyzing first, if this is caused by dust. The amount of dust is very little. Over 6 months, the amount of dust that will be ablated from the object to generate this glow is just less than a millimeter thick. So it could be just dirt on a solid surface of such an object. And the question is, what is the nature of this object? Of course, as it gets closer to the sun, we would get a better view of it. And we could use spacecraft like Juno next to Jupiter. I spoke about it with Congresswoman Paulina Luna. She called me on the phone and I gave her an update about the object. And she encouraged in a formal letter she wrote to the head of NASA, Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, to encouraging NASA to use Juno, which is next to Jupiter, to come close to Three-Eye Atlas when it will get there on March 16th, 2026.
So Juno could gather some data, take some pictures of this thing?
Yes, but also a camera that is next to Mars, because this object will come very close to Mars as well on October 3rd, 2025. And it will be within a distance of 29 million kilometers from Mars. And there is a 0.5 meter camera that is currently used to watch Mars itself. But I encourage the team that operates it to look at 3i Atlas, and they can get a pixel resolution of 30 kilometers around this object, so we can get a better sense of what the nucleus of this object is.
And super quick, Avi, is there any reason to be concerned about this?
Yeah, you never know what kind of intent it has, and I think we should, in the future, have some international organization that decides how to respond to a.
Oh, it's probably. I bet you the international organization will be led by rabbis.
Yeah, weird. Funny how that works, huh?
Of course, he asked for an international organization. But this is really weird. I mean, even Dr. Brandenburg said, the guy who found out that Mars was nuked sometime in the past. Even he's saying, that this thing looks like everything is pointing to it being artificial. And then Cliff High also says that it's artificial. He's saying it's emitting light equal to 10 gigawatts of power. So equal to 10 nuke power plants. So
Jesus,
strange. What is going on? So we're talking about what, October when it gets close to Mars, and I think November is when it gets close to us.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, I thought he said 2025. My timeline's all messed up.
Yeah.
Man, well, I know we're gonna be on the other side of the sun when it gets close to Mars.
Right, which is why we need to send those other probes to it.
Yeah,
look at it.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. It doesn't want us to see it as well. So it wants to see Venus, Jupiter, and Mars, but it doesn't want us to know.
Mhm.
Well, no, although it should know we have other instruments. We just can't see it clearly.
Yeah,
them.
the timing for me is what makes it super interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, also the fact that it's got headlights. Come on now, like it's pretty bizarre.
So weird. Do you remember this guy Scaramucci? He didn't last like a week in the Trump administration.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show once, I think.
Yeah, well, he's a new clip here. He says he tried to find out about UFOs when he got his clearance.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
When I was in the White House and I had the presidential security clearance, the first thing I asked for was the information on the UFOs.
The first thing.
And the intelligence people told me that I couldn't get any of that information. And they said that it was ATS, that information. I said, well, what is ATS? Above top secret. I said, well, I have a presidential security clearance. I can't get the access to the information. It's above the president's security clearance. That's what she was saying in the interview with Joe Rogan. She was basically saying that they have proof that there are interdimensional beings that have, through portals, gotten back and forth here. And she said it pretty matter-of-factly. So when I was...
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, so there's a theory going around. So we've talked about the Gaeta Treaty that Eisenhower supposedly signed with the Greys. I was actually listening to a podcast recently about that. And I'm finding it more and more interesting. But I think one of the theories around that is that every president after Eisenhower, and this is something that he signed, would not have access to the same information that he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's kind of it ties into what he's talking about here: above top secret, above presidential security clearance.
They don't have a need to know.
Yeah, but I mean, it begs the question: who does? Who is above the president when it comes to information?
Yeah, I mean, it's the permanent bureaucracy, and even within that, it's just a few people. But it's military contractors.
Yeah, I mean, this is
banking. Yeah.
This is what people are exactly. This is what people are. Everyone kind of jokes and laughs at it, but I mean, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the deep state. Or talking about the Bilderberg Group or the Illuminati. There are people that have more power, more information than our president, who's supposed to have the top most, information, the most important power, but there is a level above that. That's where all these theories come from.
Right. And it's because, we don't run our own financial system. So those people are more powerful than the government because they finance the government.
Yes, exactly.
This is a cool clip too. Former NASA astronaut Jerry Littinger He says he saw UFOs when orbiting Earth.
They all do.
Yeah.
That's what's so freaking crazy is all of these astronauts that they come back down and go, yeah, man, I saw some weird shit up there. Like they
Except
all
for Musk and his team, I guess.
Well, he's a different entity in and of himself, but yeah, so many astronauts have come down and said this, and not just U.S. astronauts, by the way.
Right, cosmonauts as well.
Yeah.
I don't have the Chinese for sure. They're way more open. The Chinese and Russians are way more open about this subject than we are.
I'm not so sure about that. The Chinese, for sure, if they come down and said, "Hey, we saw UFOs up there," they'd get whacked real quick. And I think,
they have a huge UFO investigation organization. It is backed by the government. I think a 3-body problem was them trying to acclimate people, or
great
they wouldn't allow that to be written unless they had an agenda, and it makes people think, it makes people get into it.
You can always just say, hey, look, it's a fiction book, and then that's it. That's the conversation.
All right, so I don't know when this guy was an astronaut, probably in the 90s or something.
Think my neck out, but how many people think
Yeah.
I saw a UFO when I was up there? And I did. I mean, I saw things in the true sense of the word, unidentified flying objects. Don't take me out of context with that first quote. I had no aliens knocking, but I saw stuff where I'd call my crewmates over, Stoetta, what the heck is that? And we'd look, and sometimes it was metallic, and it was, looked like a spoon, if you will, off in the distance. And the problem in space, good luck figuring out if it's a really small object close by, something that floated out of the airlock like a spoon, or is it something 100,000 miles away that's the size of a big spacecraft? And it's very hard to distinguish that. Usually it was, something you kind of explained, probably an ice chunk off the external tank or something like that. But you'd see things, as you're saying, Nicole, that, you go, wow, that's cool. I don't know what that was exactly, but it's not a satellite because it's, doing something different. And it's pretty cool to see something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they see a ton of stuff, man.
Mhm.
I sent you this video, and it's not fake. Just looking at people in the comments, this really small one.
Yeah, I mean, this is truly bizarre. I mean, this is a Reddit post. You can essentially take every single comment below the video and just go ahead and toss it in the dumpster out back. Fuck Reddit. I mean, it's good for aggregating content, but
it is.
God damn, the users are fucking insufferable. Sorry for
getting traffic too.
I truly hate Reddit. I mean, I really do.
So many people do. Yet it's like one of the top 10 always remains top 10 in traffic. I mean, it's great for getting information out there, but then they also delete stuff, and like you said about the comments. So people,
and God, you've got all these
very nice.
All these idiot moderators who think they know more than the truth, and so they get to decide what is true, what is fake, and it's out. It is total. It is the quintessential socialism site. The people in charge make all the rules, and screw you if you have any different opinions. You'll be banned.
Right. Yeah, they'll ban you. All right, so this is very, very cool. So it's a very small object, but it's intriguing to watch.
This is what we're seeing about orbs more and more, is that they're people who have talked about seeing orbs in their house and stuff. They're like the size of a fingernail. I mean, they're tiny.
What happened? Well, there it is. Yeah. I mean, at first you're like, "What is that? Just a flake or something?" But then
you think it's like a bug, or
yeah, like a firefly.
Yeah. It's truly bizarre.
And he's zoomed in. This is very hard to fake the guys.
Yeah, actually, I think the top comment is a guy who does CGI for a living, and he talked about how hard it would be to fake this.
Yep, exactly. Look at that thing.
That's so weird, man. I mean, this is high strangeness. This is the kind of stuff I love. It makes no sense. What is it doing? Why is it allowing itself to be filmed? Why is it so small?
And it's going back up.
And then, whoop, we're out of here. Okay.
I guess it's like a probe, no?
A probe? What is it probing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What is it possibly trying to... Yep, these are bricks, and here's a fence. Got it. Okay. It's just like, what are you doing?
It is weird. It's like you said, high strangeness. You just see this, the It's a counter donor drone warfare system.
I didn't see this.
Here's a quick update on the new company I'm starting.
Whoa!
Citadel is a robotics company developing counter-drone systems.
Whoa!
Currently, there are few viable solutions against small, inexpensive, mass-produced FPV drones. Existing counter-drone systems are too expensive, too big, or too complex for large-scale deployment. Additionally, fiber optic and self-guided drones have rendered electronic jamming effectively useless.
The future of warfare is actually terrifying.
It's a relatively small, affordable, kinetic-based system that interfaces with available hardware. We have many improvements planned, so keep an eye out for more videos, and if you'd like to learn more, please visit centradel.com.
Dude, I want one of those because you know Palantir is
This guy found a way to mount a machine gun in the back of a car
Yes,
that
yes.
can track drones. I mean,
Americans are amazing.
my only concern
He's
is
got a
that
hat here.
it's not talking. I know, I saw that. He doesn't. All of the things that all the drones that the machine gun shoots down aren't higher than like 10 feet. Like, I love
Right.
And drones, as we know, fly way up high in the sky. So it's kind of like.
It'd have to come close to your house, you know, to
Yeah.
have something like this like make sense. But you know, many people are really scared that Palantir is going to end up having like kill drones because they did it in Gaza too, you know. And that guy Alex Karp, he's a fucking maniac. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to drone Americans for whatever reason, for being terrorists.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're well on our way. Trump's got U.S. troops in Washington D.C. talking about implementing them in 13 states across.
Republican states too. Like, why? What is he
to test the waters to see how people react? All you need is one lunatic shooting at troops get taken down, and he can go, look, we've got a terrible crime problem in the United States. We need to deploy all the troops, you know, in every state. And it's just like, oh my God, here we fucking go, man.
They're all terrorists.
Yeah. And then, you know, it turns to, hey, this person criticized Israel. They must be Hamas.
Exactly. And that's what Karp. That's all Karp cares about. Alex Karp. If you hear the guy, that's all he fucking cares about. He's insane, and they will do that. Like, oh, you're criticizing Israel. All right, you're being droned.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, we have troops, guys in the army getting kicked out for saying that Israel is doing a genocide. Could you imagine? They're saying for national security. It's against our national security to talk about another country.
It is so shocking. I know the UN just declared a famine in Palestine, and it's just like, really now? They're gonna just keep doing the bare minimum until there are no Palestinians left, and then they can go, oh, okay, you know what? It was a genocide.
Once they're done, then they move on to Syria and Jordan, and
exactly. It's just, come on, it's so transparent and disgusting.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, maybe we're gonna have to do that, but like, look at this. Yeah, I sent you this one. Yeah. Now he wants. Yeah, what does Netanyahu want to do? He wants to censor the internet even more.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the big news points that's going on right now. Is like, I know in the UK they're censoring YouTube. You have to present an ID.
Yeah, I read that. That's crazy.
And I mean, it's just a dry run. That's gonna be here in the United States in less than 5 years. I guarantee it.
Man, I'm gonna end up going to the dark web.
We all are.
That. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I will never give YouTube my ID. They have no.
Hell no, fuck them. I pay for premium too, so I'll definitely cancel that.
Man, don't even. Man, I think you're doing them a service by paying for premium. Just
I can't stand the ads, dude. No,
get an ad blocker.
I can't do it. I don't think that works because they're in there. Because I have ad blockers.
And it's still
other accounts that don't have it, when I'm signed in, I see the ads. I'm like, oh
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So here's the leader of the United States.
Yeah.
Talking to our CEOs.
Very hard to fight the deception, the lies
Oh, the lies. Yeah, don't believe your lying eyes, people. Kids being blown up and all that stuff, right? It's just Hamas propaganda. Yeah.
The starved children, the pictures of starved children have turned out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave them emaciated. And Israel is, of course, accused of starving children, pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood. So, what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge.
Yeah, it's so bad for us. It's killing our PR, and we can't do what we want to do. And
our dream of becoming a huge podcast where we can do this full time, I think it just ended.
Why are we supposed to be kissing Netanyahu's ass?
Yes, we are.
This is not going to help either.
No, it's not, because this is fucking infuriating as well. Ghislaine, I don't care how to actually pronounce her first name. I'm going to call her
very Jizzy. Yeah.
Ghislaine, because
everyone should jizz over Ghislaine. Excuse me for that.
We should.
No, we shouldn't.
Sock her in the fucking mouth. Anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell provided no incriminating information during meetings with Deputy AG on high-profile individuals who interacted with Jeffrey Epstein.
I can't believe that. So she also said,
the elite, the people in charge, they investigated themselves and they found no wrongdoing.
There is no list.
These
Maxwell told. I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
Unfucking real. They keep getting away with their disgusting, perverted crimes.
I think Thiel is right about the Antichrist. So maybe he's in the U.S. government and he's going to take over the world.
Yeah, or he's living in Israel.
Yes, he will. The third temple, or he's in 3i Atlas and he's coming. Could you imagine this happens?
God,
could you imagine? We called it here first, though.
My dream is that 3i Atlas lands and aliens come out and they go, "Hey, anyone here over the age of 18 had sex with a kid?" And they just kill every single one.
Oh yes.
And they go,
be nice.
"You're welcome," and they take off, and we have to rebuild. And I'm for that, man. I'm with it.
These people that rule us are just disgusting. Like there's that meme that says, "This is you here." It shows the Milky Way galaxy, and like you are here paying taxes to pedophiles.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like what are we even doing, man? And
there's no way they're going to be able to implement this system. I mean, if they do, this is a strange reality we're in.
I've been meaning to text you about this. You and I need to go gun shopping, or at least I need to go gun shopping, and I want to take you with me because I need.
I need a hand. I need a hand.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to say it on the YouTubes.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm up. Yeah, text me and I'll come with you.
All right, great. Because I feel like we're getting to that point where elites are just can just do whatever they want, and like this. Yeah, this is a great example.
So wait, explain this to me because Vice had a paywall, I think.
So this island, I think it's off the coast of Florida.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, it's in Florida.
So essentially, it's only rich people. And you can only get there if you have a helicopter or it's just really rich people that live there. Yeah. Their septic, whatever the unit that is used for processing poop, feces, it's not working properly. And so essentially all these people on this island, this billionaire island, went to the government and said, "Hey, the next town over has to deal with all of our shit." And so they're just pushing it instead of fixing up their infrastructure and
using their money to do it.
Using their money, what they did is they went to the government, and the government said, "Oh, hey, you're billionaires. Yeah, we'll take your money. Yeah, the next town over, the town across the river, they'll take care of your shit for you."
Yeah, and they're rich too. But they're millionaires, not billionaires. So here are the billionaires, and here's the golf course, right, that they're on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're forcing these guys over here to take their shit.
Like literal shit, yeah.
But they're millionaires. Like it's not like
It doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that their infrastructure is so poor that and they, instead of fixing it because they have the money and tools to do so, they went
You
and
take care of it.
they went to the government and had the government deal with it, and the government sided with them. It's I mean, this is what we're talking about with class warfare. Like, you know, you and I mean, our listeners know at this point that I'm essentially the libertarian, but this kind of shit, this is when I go, okay, like sexism, racism, whatever, that's not important. What it really comes down to, always what it comes down
Class.
to, class, every
Yeah.
single time. It's not black versus white. It's
Yep.
not male versus female.
No.
It is rich
It's not.
versus poor every
Right.
single fucking time. And
Even when it comes to like religions, it's not like, you know,
Right.
a religious warfare. It's not, because
It's not.
all the countries are all owned by the same, you know, people.
it always comes down to
Look, a
class.
good example like about Al Qaeda, right? Who's supposed to be our mortal enemy. We fund them in
Yes.
Syria, and now they're in charge of Syria. So make that make sense.
We gave them money to fight the Russians during the Cold
And that
War.
too, exactly.
And we trained them. We trained them to fight the
100%.
Russians during the Cold War.
100%. Right. Exactly. 100%.
It is always every single
bogeyman to use.
every single breakdown, every time they talk about, oh, this race does that or this gender does that, it always, if you like actually dive into it, it is always rich versus poor every
Yep.
single
Yeah,
fucking time.
they want to maintain this system that they have and further entrench themselves. And now we're at a crossing point here. You know, they're still doing this. I would say call it revolution, right? This whole AI surveillance state that they're doing is kind of revolution because it goes completely against our ideals and founding principles and freedom and individual liberty. So
and once again, I mean, the most frustrating thing about this whole AI revolution and people losing their jobs and stuff, it's not CEOs losing their jobs.
No.
God forbid the CEOs lose
Nope.
their jobs. It's the regular working people.
entry jobs.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but they're coming for truck drivers. They're coming for delivery people. Anything that people would rely on that would be an easy to go in and make some extra bucks or something. That's going to be taken away as well. So there's like nothing left for people not to succumb to, you know, being homeless. You know, unless you get lucky and you do have a high-paying job or you're an entrepreneur and you're making money on your own. But still, there's going to be challenges there as well. There's always challenges. But it's like nothing else to fall back on if all these jobs would be taken by robots and AI.
just become here, listeners. If you guys want some life advice, being successful is super easy. It's really easy. Just become a CEO.
Just become a CEO. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's super easy.
It's free. It's free.
Yeah, it's super easy. Just be a CEO, and then you know everything is fine. Go to some islands, rape some little kids, be a CEO. You know, there you go.
But something weird's coming for sure, and that's why you see all these leaders in the world just stealing money. Even Trump and his family, they got 3.4 billion or something since he became president.
Yeah.
And before they would hide that, but no one's hiding this shit anymore. People are just stealing. You know, especially public figures. It's like normal now for them to just steal from the government. I mean, that used to be a third world country thing, not in the first world or whatever we call it, the developed world.
But that's the thing, is I'm starting to realize that it was always a developed world thing too. They just were either A, better hiding it, or B,
right.
You know, they got assassinated or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
You know, like I remember in the news that Luigi guy, I still don't think it was him. You know, he killed that. He killed that CEO of that
insurance company.
Insurance company. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the feeling that there's going to be a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
if they don't address these issues, like covering up Epstein is one of them. It's going to make people insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm furious about that. I'm not going to go out and shoot anybody, but you know, that kind of shit really pisses me off.
Yeah, because it proves our point. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're crazy. It's not. We're not controlled by anyone." What are you talking about? These are the most heinous crimes done to Americans, and we're covering it up.
And God, it's not even covered up anymore. I mean, we talked about the guy, the pedophile who was trying to bring a young girl into his room in Vegas, got sent back to Israel, and it's just like.
You know the judge. She's an Israeli. You know the judge is an Israeli. She let him go.
Huge shocker there.
Yeah, she's an Israeli.
Huge fucking shocker there.
Trump appointed her, and 100 judges in Nevada wrote a letter saying, "Please don't appoint her. She does not have the qualifications." Trump still put her in there, and what does she do? She lets this guy go. Of course she does.
Yeah, huge shocker. Huge shocker.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just it's unreal. Like I understand why people are pissed. I'm pissed. You know.
It's crazy how they let themselves get to this point. It's like it's on purpose, man. It's
really
insane.
I mean, this is why I was talking about gun shopping. This is not a call to violence. I'm not saying you have to recognize the rights that you have, and the Second Amendment is there for a reason. It's to fight against a tyrannical government. I'm not saying go out and shoot anybody. Jesus Christ!
No, but it's all right. It's all right. It's in the Bill of Rights. I mean, sorry, it's in that. Yeah, it's in the Declaration of Independence. So please don't mess with Thomas Jefferson. But yeah, I mean,
on that great fun note,
that's right. We have no comedy to lighten up the moods.
Start doing a better job of that, of sending you comedy clips.
Yeah, and usually I find something funny too. Wait, do I have anything? I don't think I have anything queued up for that.
It's just this last like month, work has been so insane for me, and I just do not like. You'll send me like 5 or 6 texts, and like maybe I'm in the bathroom and I can respond to one of them, but I just don't have time. I just haven't had the time.
No, I get it, man. Yeah, I think I was like that last week too, and I only have time at night, like pretty late at night.
Yeah,
when I'm looking at
I don't know if you noticed, but I'll send you stuff at like 6 in the morning. It's like because I just woke up and I'm looking at my phone. That's the only time I have to send you stuff.
Well, next week we're going to be we're going to have some guests on the show from another podcast.
Wait, really?
You guys know soon. Yeah. Remember I told you. So the 31st.
Did you? I honestly don't remember. But
yeah, I told them the 31st.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we haven't discussed what the topics are yet. I'm trying to see what they're a different podcast. I think they talk about a lot of things though, but they're focused on Bitcoin and crypto. And
I can't wait to scream at them about aliens. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see. But we'll just chat and see. Be exposed to their audience and have their audience exposed to us as well. So,
did you know the moon is made of bitcoins? You can go up there and mine it right now.
That's not cheese.
No. My fake yell made me cough.
Oh yeah, it's hard to yell.
So that's I mean, I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll have to get on the air a couple minutes before and
sure,
test my microphone because as we know, last time we had a guest, my microphone did not work.
Yeah, we can like 20 minutes before we can just chat.
Okay,
to see it and then figure it out. They always go live. They have way more subscribers than us, but he told me because it's the going live thing that helps. I'm like, oh, all right, but it's stressful to go live because we'll have comments we have to deal with, and like
I'll have to put on my best PFP if we're going live. I want to look nice for the audience.
Why? This was perfect.
No, I'm kidding. Okay. I'm definitely not changing it. This one is really good.
Yeah, it's the best. Usually it's like talking about the flood, like bring back the flood. All right, cool. That was fun. Gulf Breeze case is definitely crazy. That Walters guy is just off the wall.
Ed Walters is a character. I really, I recommend people go out and because, like I said earlier, we just scratched the surface. Go out and learn more about the case on other forms of media because it's chock full of just crazy weirdness and just typical Florida-ness. It's a great case.
Yeah, and Gulf Breeze in general looks like it has a lot of activity there. I wouldn't mind visiting it if I ever go to Florida.
We need to, you know what? We should change our show. We should do a travel show, and our travel is based on UFO sightings. So we just we'll go to Russia wherever a UFO crashed, and
I'd love to do that, but how?
We'll go to Australia. Well, the listeners are going to give us millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. If they fund it, that's fine.
Right. And then we go to Brazil and, we
Brazil.
go and sit down and do a podcast there about some sort of Brazil
Dangerous.
UFO crash.
Yes. Yes.
We go to Antarctica and we just do like we
Ooh.
spend like a month there talking about
Alaska.
Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah. Arizona.
Yeah. I prefer the cold to the heat. Sure. We can do Arizona for a couple days.
All right.
Nevada.
Nevada, New Mexico.
We'll go to Area 51 and we'll just do a podcast there.
I think Utah's got a lot too, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, Utah's got
We'll go to the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep.
We'll do a podcast there. Yeah,
you can't miss
that's
that
what I'm talking about. So, listeners, if you're out there and you've got millions of dollars and you're just like, I don't know where to put all this money, just send it to us, and we will just do a travel show about.
Help
UFOs.
us solve the problem about UFOs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. I like that. That's perfect.
I'm putting that out there in the universe as our PFPs float through the universe right now.
Nice. I like the visuals there.
I have a need to know. Adam?
Yep. And you guys, since you're already listening to us, you know where to find us. But we are everywhere. So just in case you don't see us anymore on YouTube, then you can check Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. We're always there. We're always on X as well. Follow us there and let us know how we're doing and what we can do to improve, because we do listen.
We do.
We do.
And if you don't hear from us, just be on the lookout for some black vans with tinted windows. We're probably trapped in there someplace.
Yes, the infamous black vans.
I am Time to Topher, and this has been the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, and we will see you all next week.
Yes.
Is this new? What is this?
A message in the static.
Oh, alternate version.
Yes.
A light against the stars. A podcast from afar. It's Adam and Topher. We come in peace. Our hunt for the truth will never cease. It's the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, where the truth is told until the last. Listen to our words and hear our voices. We can't save you, but present your choices. In the static, a shadow in the dark, a light against the stars, a podcast from afar.